Coming to you live from downtown Detroit, this is Benzinga's PreMarket Prep with your host, Joel Elconin.
This is a volatile puppy here, isn't it?
And Dennis Dick.
I'm bidding a penny. I will buy the stock for a penny.
With everything you need to start your trading day.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this Friday pre-market prep. Spencer Israel, Joel Elconin with you here this morning. Before we get started, if you are wondering, hey, I can't comment. What's going on? I'm not allowed to comment. You are allowed to comment. Just hit the subscribe button, and then you'll be allowed to comment. Doing a fun little experiment today that I meant to do yesterday and forgot. So hit subscribe, and then you'll be able to comment and tell us how much you love us or hate us. We got a good show today. We're going to talk about just rotation, and the reopening trade. Joel and I discussed this a little bit yesterday at the close, but the reopening trade is looking not great right now, or does it? That's what we'll talk about here today. Markus Heitkoetter is our guest, as always, on Fridays at 8:35. He will hopefully have some other things to talk about besides Lordstown Motors. And normally we'd have Jason Rassick on later in the show, but Jason Rassick cannot come on today, so that's okay. I'm going to stay on with you guys past 9. We'll have Ryan Faloona and Jonathan Mallard do some trading into the open. We got a long show today, extra long show. Joel, let's bring up those charts. Good morning. How are we doing this morning?
We're in the red by 14 handles at 41.98. Crude is down 91 cents at 70.13. Gold, a little bit of a rebound, up 19.50 at 17.94.30. Silver on the rebound trail as well, up 59 cents at 26.45. Bitcoin just hanging out under 40K. That's up $115 at 37.780. And Ethereum going the opposite way. That's down $26 at 23.12.75. And it's quad witch. It's the expiration. It's the only day that the SPY is not Dennis's friend.
Why?
Well, you just said that on the pre-market show. You said this is the only
because
day.
of quad witch, because it's ex-dividend.
Well, ex-dividend. Correct.
Yeah. And so I come in the systems this morning, and my one system hadn't adjusted for the dividend. I was like, what the hell happened to SPY? And I look at the futures. I was like, ow. And I'm looking at the calendar, and I'm like, yep, it's ex-dividend day for the SPY. $137.5 is the ex-dividend. The adjusted price is $420.59. Multiple tweets at me saying the adjusted price should be $420.69. The joke went right over my head because I don't get any of these jokes. The marijuana sex joke went right over my head. I had 3 people send me $420.69. I was like,
Jeez.
Am I wrong? And then I'm like, oh. And then somebody actually, Andrew, a friend of mine, we reached out to me and said, that's a joke. I was like, oh. I'm too old to get marijuana sex jokes.
Man. Yeah. I think
I guess $420.69 is a thing.
I think it'd take me a couple weeks to get that one too.
Me and Joel, we don't get these old. We don't get these young.
Not that I'm against either, but
we're not. I just didn't get it.
We're leaking hard, Dennis. Expiration. Yeah. We got a turn.
Yeah.
Is this a turn? I mean, we've had such a great bull market.
Yeah, we have
such a great turn.
Yeah.
And we were discussing this before, and you're like, you're ready to buy the dip here, but I'm just looking at this. We could talk about individual stocks in a minute, but I'm looking at this. We made a new all-time high this week. We're 55 handles off that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, is this
there's
the
multiple
dip to
things. I don't know. Well, on SPY, maybe not, because rotation has kept us higher. So I don't know. I mean, SPY looks like it's right near the high, so there isn't much of a dip there yet. But, we went into this argument here, and the reopening trade has been getting hammered. I'll just say, if you don't have any reopening stocks, maybe you start nibbling at this point in time, because I still don't think the reopening trade is going away. I mean, I nibbled on some Las Vegas Sands. That's, from 66, it's back. I was actually up in it pretty nicely, and I've given it all back, and I'm red now because I bought it at 55. It's $54. It's going to be down here probably again today with the overall market. I mean, the airlines have all gotten the beats. None of the stuff is really cheap, so it does depend a lot on where is the reopening going. Are they worrying about these variants now? Are they worrying, that maybe the vaccines aren't going to be as effective? Or is this just, let's just sell, some of the stuff here because the reopening trade maybe got overbought to a certain extent. So I think if you don't own any of these stocks, maybe you're nibbling into some of the airlines, some of the casinos, maybe even some of the cruise lines. But then there's issues. I mean, with Royal Caribbean, it's tough because they come out and, now there's 7 crew members that, were apparently vaccinated and got COVID. So now they got to, if they're going to continue to, there's always going to be somebody probably still getting COVID. So if they're going to stop the ship from sailing because somebody gets COVID on the ship, that's tough. I mean, I don't know if I want to own cruise lines if that's the case. So it's tricky market.
I just, I really like having, different guests on the show because you get different perspectives. And when we were talking to the cowman yesterday, Scott, he was talking about, the economy's doing great. These, everyone's having blowout numbers. Well, you just restarted the economy. You're starting from zero, basically. So the comparisons really over last year and last summer they're just not there. And we're going to get through it. Could you have the same a year from now? Can you have the same expectations for these retail stocks? I mean, God forbid we go into another lockdown, but this growth is great. Yeah, they're getting some bang up numbers, but is it just because you started from zero, from, restarting the economy? So that gave me a good perspective on things. And, I try not to get bearish all the time, but really what I'm seeing this week, for the first time on a weekly basis, the market is telling me heading into next week, look to sell first. And I'm just looking at the indexes, the S&Ps. I'm not talking about individual stocks, but from a purely mathematical point of view, who knows what's going to happen today? They could turn around and rip this 50 points, but it's an expiration. We have a turn. End on the lows for the week. I just don't think I can get my buying shoes on yet in anything. And I have way too much cash, but I'm just not super excited about going out here and buying different things. Like the banks, we debated this yesterday. 2 years, maybe. All the conjecture that we had about, he softened his tone, he's going to do it sooner and everything. I can't predict that. All I know is those banks opened up at the high. I haven't seen a whooping in Citigroup gave some bad numbers.
Getting whooped for days here now. A couple of my Twitter followers wanted us to talk Citigroup, so let's do the technicals here. I thought we might bounce at the 69 to 70 area. We cut through that yesterday, and it continues to get whipped here this morning. It's oversold in the short term, so it's due for a bounce. Where that bounce happens, who knows? These banks, again, in the longer term, we're overbought, though, too. So you go 40 to 80, and Citigroup doubled. Let's give a perspective. Citigroup doubled from October. So in 9 months, we went from $40 to $80. Could you do a 50% back at 60? It's possible. I'd be a buyer at 60 if it got down there, but that's 8 points away. Some of the other banks didn't have those kind of rallies, but some of them did. So I don't know. It depends on what your allocation is. I still think the barbell approach is the way to go. If you're heavily, into tech and tech's making new all-time highs, maybe you're moving a little bit around here. The U.S. Steel, somebody wanted us to talk about that one too. It falls in the same categories. Commodities, banks all seem to be trading together. I sold some up at 28 and 20. Should have sold it all. And then and then 2 days ago I was like, I don't like the chart, and I sold the rest of it 25.80, 23.80. So I'm all out of U.S. Steel, but now it comes back down to my buy zone. I was saying that 20 to 22. So you fall another $2, I'm probably going to rebuy the stock I just sold. They're still making a lot of money. I don't think, this economy is going on hold here. But the chart doesn't look great. It doesn't look healthy when it's going straight down. But I tell you, buying those charts when they're going straight down has been working for a long time.
So you did how many stocks did you do there? You did C and then CNX. Look at let's throw out all the 60-minute. Let's even throw out the daily and say they're totally irrelevant. Let's go to the monthly. 3 out of 4 monthly lows at 68. You hit 68.16 yesterday. You're down 66 cents. And look under there. So you got 3 out of 4 monthly lows at 68. If you think that's the bottom, I kind of find when I think something's the bottom, it's usually not. So you take a stab here at 66. I just don't think you wait to 65 or 64 to find out you're wrong, or let it break through 68 here and come back and hold it. But that's a monthly chart. That's monthly data. And there's a lot of air underneath that. X, I know, God, there's someone asked me about that almost every day. Yes, it's in a trading range. Yes, it's coming into a 5, 6, 7 lows. But here's the thing, guys. I know if you buy it here, you get the dip at 23 and a quarter or 23 and a half. You're not waiting to 21 to find out you're wrong on it. This area has been an area of significance. So I see the support. I see what you're talking about. Just comes down that many times.
It's a hard candle, though, Joel, too. I don't know if I'm necessarily... The one thing is, a lot of times you see, it's hard to catch the falling knife. And, with Citigroup, X, these all look the same. You're literally trying to hope it just bounces off that support for the first time. It's always easier to let the thing bottom, miss the bottom. Then you have a level to lean on, So I never strike, even though I was talking about Citigroup, maybe getting down and dirty and buying some at 69 or 70. I didn't buy any. I didn't buy any X. It's just not my style. The better way is to let it bottom, let it just hit the floor, and then you get a bounce day. Then you use that bottom as your out, as your stop out, saying, okay, I think this is it. So we haven't had a bounce day in Citigroup here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've had 7 days in a row of red. Basically straight down for 10 straight sessions, really, and lost some significant amount of money. But I think you wait until they stop going down as opposed to trying to be a hero and saying, oh, this is going to be the level. So, this is the way I think about when I was buying all those growth momentum stocks a month ago when everybody hated them. I waited, though, on Fubo. I waited until that thing hit rock bottom, at $15. And then it started to bounce. And then it gave me consolidation. Then it gave me a chance, and I bought it at 20. So I didn't get the bottom at 15, but I waited until, okay, it looks like the sellers are now getting exhausted. You can see it in the chart. I'm talking the consolidation period.
Right here.
May 17th to May 24th, a full week of consolidation around 20. It wanted to hold 20. I'm like, well, I got it to find out at 20. So I think I bought it at 20.50, and I sold at 25 about 2 days later. Again, I sold early. I always sell early, but that's a hell of a trade. 20% in 2 days, I take that all day long. So it's those setups that I'm always looking for, not being the hero, buying the stock when it's crashing, but waiting for it to bottom, hit rock bottom. So Citigroup or X do the same thing, where, okay, boom, it looks like now they're consolidating. Now they want to bounce a little bit. Now I have a level to lean on, as opposed to trying to catch the falling knife.
Rita Ford, dollar cost averaging. Dennis and I are not big fans of dollar cost averaging. Well, for swing
I don't do
trades,
any of it.
Yeah.
I'm in or I'm out.
Yeah. The only dollar cost averaging we did was not by me. And, well, it wasn't dollar. It was, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about Peloton. But anyways, no, and we got to talk about this rotation yesterday. I mean,
Wicked.
I don't even think
it was this morning too, but go ahead.
No, I mean, I just, I try and, look at things independently, on my levels, base my trades on them. And when they're screaming short and I look, I see Apple up $2, Microsoft up $2, Amazon up $30, Google up, Facebook, Tesla up. They were at one point, they were all up like a percent to 1.5%. And the Dow was down 220. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And a lot of it was the financials. It looks like, I don't know if this time around, if the big boys can withstand the selling of the other 490 stocks in the index.
Maybe they can, though. They have before. And that is the one thing, we talk about, oh, this is really ugly. We're looking at some ugliness. I mean, you had multiple stocks making new highs yesterday. QQQ made new all-time highs yesterday. You had, obviously, you look at Facebook, it's bumping its head up right near the all-time highs. Apple had a good day breaking out over 130. Microsoft has come all the way back from where they hated it a month ago down at 240. Now everybody loves it at 261, which is up against resistance. I sold some of my Marvel technology yesterday, just lightening up because it seems like everybody's just, okay, got to buy tech, got to buy tech, got to buy tech. I feel like the tech rally Even though some of the mega caps are breaking out and the Qs broke out, I still feel like it's a little long in the tooth, and I wouldn't be surprised they pull the rug out from under that one of these days. So if they keep hammering stocks, they're going to pull the rug out from under tech too. So even though QQQ is making new all-time highs, and yes, I still have my Microsoft, and yes, I still have my Amazon, and yes, I still have my Google, and yes, I still have my Apple. I was just looking at lightening up because this has been a big move. Like Marvel Technologies, MRVL, I sold half of it yesterday. Didn't sell it all, but I bought this back at $40, $41, I think it was. Actually, no, it's back in March. And I watched it go from 40 to 50 and then back down to 41. Now it's went from 41 to 55. You're right up there. We are breaking out. We are at new all-time highs on Marvel Technologies, which is always a good thing, or at least bumping up against it, not quite making a new all-time high, but just lightening up just in case that old high holds.
What is Bullard saying here? I mean, holy mackerel.
I see 2% inflation being approached from the upside. That's going across on a CNBC headline?
I mean, we are getting just lit up like a Christmas tree here, Dennis.
He's saying a lot of things.
Where is he talking right now? Where is he?
CNBC. I just caught it out of the corner of my eye.
He is there.
He's on TV.
Yeah,
He's talking about the debate.
Get him off the screen.
Get him off the screen. Dennis, cancel bids.
Yeah. Pull him off.
All right, we are though. We are
the markets. Halt the markets. We can't take it anymore. Doesn't he know it's quad witch? You don't talk bearish on quad witch. Everybody starts selling. Just kidding with all that. But
he's talking about the tapering debate. Remember, they didn't even really talk about tapering on Wednesday. That is to come. I can never quite get this guy figured out because sometimes
he's not on it anymore, or is he?
He's still on.
He's still on St. Louis Fed.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know. Because some of these guys that were on there, they like to, you know who we should get on the show, Spencer. We haven't had an economist on in a while. Is he still in the dock?
Muhammad?
No, he's hard to get on.
We've got him. We've had him on.
Yeah. It's been a Mikkel. What was his name? Melnick.
Oh, Dr. Melnick.
Yeah, remember him, Dennis?
Yeah, I remember him.
Kennesaw State University.
Yeah. Okay.
Goldfish memory here.
Oh, that was a long time.
Under the bus.
Spoos just bounce. We're attempting to bounce 84. That splits the intraday and pre-market low from yesterday, 83 and 85. So I was going to tell Dennis to cancel old bids, but then I noticed we were on the low for the week. So if we're going to bounce, it's going to
put out all bids. I have no idea. This market, nobody knows. Okay, everybody thinks they know everything, and again, nobody knows anything. It is this type of market where we're adjusting to what the Fed has said. We are seeing the U.S. dollar show some life after it's just shown death here for the last 6 months. So, I mean, all of that comes into play here. I'm letting the dust settle on a few of these stocks. I'm looking at buying the dip in some of these stocks, but I'm waiting for them to bottom out. I'm not coming in this morning, and sometimes they turn on quad witch, but remember, we got a Russell rebalance next week too. We have lots of volatility. We're going to have lots of opportunity here. Trading the inefficiencies I'm always doing, but as opposed to just coming in here and loading up all the reopening stocks, I'm going to wait till they bottom.
You know who does know everything, and I don't know if he's in the chat today. I think it's Christopher Fortsman or something, because I was thinking about the expiration pump, the pump up. I mean, how many times, on the expiration, buy imbalances, and they just jack it. We're up 20, 30 handles, and then it fades all day. And he goes, no, I think it's going to be the opposite this time. So I would much rather have faded a big up open. I mean, with this open the way it is near last week, I mean, I'd hate to, have to buy it and hope it goes back up. But it's an interesting setup. There must be a ton of selling balances, or it's either bullet or selling balances.
Remember, on option expiration, you can't really look at them, and until even a minute before they all flip, they're all buys, and they're heavy, heavy buys. But it's meaningless, and every prop trader knows they're meaningless at this time. They all flip around. So on normal days, you're looking at the opening imbalances, and you can get a feel for, okay, does this make sense? On this day, there's so much institutional action that all those buys can easily flip to sells in a snap of a finger. So yeah, so I'm looking right now. I mean, Morgan Stanley, I have max prices on McDonald's. What I mean by max price, they project out the opening price. What they do in New York, which is a nice feature, is they actually take the opening imbalance and then they look at the book and they add it all up. And if they can't supply enough liquidity to meet the opening demand, they show you a max price. Max price on stocks, probably nobody knows this. You only learn this on pre-market prep. Max price is $4,294.67. So that's the max indicated price. I see that max indicated price on Philip Morris, COF, PNC, FedEx, American Express, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs. Yeah, there's a bunch of other ones too. ADM, if you want to go off the board. Those are all meaningless. You can't look at that information today. Other days you can look at it. We get these projected openings, and NASDAQ has adjusted their opening process too, where 925, they give you the opening imbalance, and then 928, they give you the projected opening price. But, New York adjusts that prices continuously. So just because Morgan Stanley is 164,000 to buy and there's not enough in the book, there's going to be traders that are going to come in to sell to that. I will be one of those traders. I provide.
Oh, man, we're free falling now. I mean, we just went through yesterday's, the low from yesterday, like a hot knife through butter. Just went to, I hope I don't have to adjust my numbers again here. What do I got? 60. We shouldn't get that close to my bottom number.
Is he still talking? Tell him to shut up.
Oh, my Lord. Jeez, get someone bullish on.
Let me
There goes my long-term account. Thanks, Bullard.
Can we do something? Get this guy up.
Just let me call.
He says, I see initial rate increase in late 2022. That's new information.
All right.
Because they were telling 2023, call him up. Call Becky White right now. Is it Becky on with her? Who's on with her? Yes, Becky. Call her up. Tell her, stop the interview. It's imploding the market.
It's not good for the market.
Spencer's getting I'm on the phone right now. What did she say? Did she
went
say
straight to voicemail? What does that mean?
Went straight to voice. Becky, pick up the phone. We're trying to call you. We need to get Bullard off because right now all of our longs are imploding.
This is what you do. You say you're Warren Buffett, and she would run off the
She'd
set.
hang up on Bullard, yeah. Warren Buffett's on hold. He wants to talk to markets. I gotta let you go, Bullard. So do that, Spencer, and then we'll save the market. And then we'll give you credit at the end of it. Spencer Israel saved the markets because he got Bullard off the TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the one thing Dennis was talking about. If there was any truth to that buy imbalance, like on a normal day, Morgan Stanley wouldn't be trading down 80.
They wouldn't be trading down. That's why these flip around. There's institutions, ExxonMobil showing 1.2 million to sell. There's no point. On other days we can talk the opening balances. Even when I see them at 9.29 a minute before the open, they still sometimes all flip on you. I think the only safe way to play, if we want to talk about how I play these quad witches, is I provide liquidity into them. Meaning, if you've got the market down 1% and you've got certain stocks that don't have any news, that are market, that are close to market performance, they're going to open down like a wide example, 3%. I'll buy those. If they're going to open up, I'll short those. So I basically, it's called enveloping, is what I call it. I go around fair values here. I'm selling short up here, I'm buying here, and my systems are going to adjust. I do use some algorithms to do that stuff. That's just basic index arbitrage, but there is opportunities for us humans even on these types of days, as stocks may open out from where their indexes are, but they come right in right away, usually anyways.
You know what? I feel absolutely horrible because I was talking bearish at the top of the show. I didn't mean for this to happen, folks.
Oh, you did this.
You know what?
Yeah.
No.
You got Bullard off. Bullard's gone.
All right, Bullard's off. Okay,
it's not
switch the algo.
It's my fault. I knew this was going to happen too because I'm wearing a red shirt. I knew this was going to happen.
Stop wearing red shirts. We should have wore green shirts. Me and Bill are wearing blue, which is useless.
I thought about it.
And I'm even more useless. Mine's a Detroit Lions shirt, so maybe I should have known. Put on the Detroit Lions shirt. No way the market's going to perform well. What's your shirt say, Joel? You're coach of what?
Detroit. Maccabi.
Just Detroit. He's just coach of Detroit.
You know how old this shirt is?
He's just the Detroit coach.
Do you know how old this shirt is?
I coach Detroit.
Do you want to know how old this shirt is?
Older than you.
Yeah.
I wore this to the Maccabi games when I coached the swim team in Houston in 2007.
Nice.
Yeah, isn't it nice? Detroit Coat. Nice. I got a bunch of them. Material. They were free, Dennis. They give you free shirts.
I love free shirts. If I go to the beer store, we have the beer store in Canada. Well, actually, you can buy it at the grocery store now too. But if I go in there, I'm always looking, like, hey, is there something free in one of these cases of beer? Oh, free T-shirt. I was like, I'll take that. Free hat. I'll take that. I'll wear that all summer and maybe next summer.
Okay.
This is a bad tangent. We got to get to stocks. People are leaving the show right now because we haven't talked to any stocks.
They're
Adobe. Let's go to earnings.
Yeah, let's go to Adobe earnings. Out last night, and the numbers were good. EPS beat, sales beat. They gave some guidance as well. That was higher than estimates on the EPS and sales. So beat across the board for Adobe last night. How they doing this morning?
New all-time highs. What's not to like? Stock making new all-time highs. The only thing is, I don't know, is it overextended? Maybe, but this can go anywhere. Stocks making new all-time highs. I absolutely don't short. I never short a stock making a new all-time high. Why? Because there's no pain up there, and I've seen new all-time highs get more new all-time highs more often than they usually give it back. So stock is strong. Market is weak. If this market goes to turn and starts to go up, probably Adobe will lead the charge higher here.
Lunch bet?
Sure.
Oh yeah.
We don't see 572.98.
Is that the highs?
Yeah.
It's tough when we're down 30 handles.
I'm just talking about a virtual lunch bet. We can both. I can die you up on Zoom, and then we can eat our lunch together.
Contingent on the market rebounding. If the market rebounds, Adobe will touch those highs.
Now you know why Dennis makes so much money. He doesn't.
I hedge. I trade hedged.
It's a target. That's what I'd give you as a target, folks.
Sure. I'm not making a lunch bet, though.
Out. Okay.
I'm feeling like a lunch.
I think you still owe me like a dozen lunches.
We have like 4 steak dinners.
We can't cross the border, so one day
I did pay you a steak dinner once. Where'd we go?
You did, actually. It was a good steak dinner, too. Yeah, Ruth Chris. Nice dinner.
Yeah.
That was a really good one.
All right, can we get over yesterday's low? 41.83. We bounced. They got Bullard's big mouth off there. Let's see if we can rebound. First, we got a whole 41.83. That was a low from yesterday, so we'll keep an eye on that.
One more up a buck this morning is SWBI, Smith & Wesson. They had earnings. They also blew it away. They also reported a $50 million buyback and a dividend raise. 5 cents to 8 cents. That's a quarterly dividend right there.
Are they changing their name again?
No, they did not.
They changed the ticker symbol, Joel, every other quarter. I can't even follow it anymore. I still type in like SWHC or what was the one before that? Smith & Wesson was before it was a brand.
It was American Outdoor Brands.
American Outdoor Brands. AOB. But then they didn't like that one and they changed the ticker symbol. They continuously change the ticker symbol on this one. It screws up all of my systems. So they have to adjust those manually, and I'm too lazy to. So I am probably still running like AOB in there, or AOC or whatever it was. Anyways, it's up 92 cents. Nice lift. People are buying guns still, apparently. This stock has these huge orders that just show up during the day, and it's like $1.50 wide. I think it's upwards of like, I don't know if they're making markets or what they're doing, but I saw it last night even on the earnings report. It was down like 19.50 and 21.50. It was like 100,000 to buy at 19.50, another 100,000 to sell like 21.50, and they couldn't even. I'm thinking those were the numbers, and I was taking that just from, I think it was the Arca book or maybe it was Edge. But anyways, I've seen those orders there for a few days now, so I'm not sure if those.
That's big. Okay.
Yeah. So where did it get down to yesterday? Did it take that out?
Go to the
1955. So the 1950. Watch that level. If it goes to pull, I'm not saying it's going to pull back, but I'm saying there's big buyers down there in the 19.5 area, and there's big sellers up at 21.5. So I'm giving you the range.
Yep. You see, in the book, you see 21.5.
Not this morning, but last night I did. On the they were making the market into the earnings report, and they held those orders there.
Ooh,
so somebody was 1950 to 21.50, and it's not surprising that traded within that range because that takes 100,000 shares on Smith & Wesson.
Pre-market,
the big order after hours last night.
That takes a big set. I mean, they
think he's real. They were scalping.
Yeah.
Well, they're hoping you hit them at 1950 for 100,000, and you hit me and left me at 21.50 for 100,000. Make 200,000.
Does Bob know you're putting those orders out there?
Yeah. Not me.
No,
I'm not that crazy.
Can I just, sometimes we make some good calls, some bad calls, but one we really dissected yesterday was Ford's. Did you see what that thing did? It never even sniffed that.
Good call, Joel. You said it was a selling opportunity, and it absolutely was. So I still like Ford. I'm still long Ford. This reopening trade these are trading with the reopening stocks, and obviously GM and Ford got hammered yesterday.
Okay. All right, Spencer,
good
you
call.
want to take it away here? It's 8:30, 5 minutes before Marcus.
Well,
you wanted to talk about that crazy stock, right?
Just for a second, and then I want to get Marcus on. But this ORPH, when people cry that there's manipulation in the market and they say there's naked shorts or whatever, and the manipulation, this is what they should be talking about. This ORPH crap. Okay,
what has happened here?
This thing was at last week was at $77.
Why?
Okay, why was that?
It went from 5 to 77. Why did it do that?
Because
why?
Because the market
was this a Reddit stock?
I don't think so. I do not think so. I think it was just a chat room. Okay. And I have my suspicions about who it was, but I don't know for sure, so I'm not going to say. Okay. And they had a PDUFA date yesterday. Was it yesterday or no? It was this morning. It was like 3 hours ago. They got a complete response letter from the FDA.
That's never good.
Drug. Never good news when that happens. So this morning, ORPH, which closed at what, 15? Yeah, give or take, is at 6 or 7, somewhere around.
697.
Yeah, 697.
I'll leave a mark.
Right. So it went from 77 last week to 6. Yesterday, he got pumped from 10 to almost 24. 6 this morning. 6. The company's obviously.
How could you not lose? I mean, someone said they made some money on this. Good for you.
I mean, if they're going up and they sell soon enough, they do. The problem is, here's the problem with all these social media stocks and what we're, not just Reddit, it's Twitter, Discord. There's all chat rooms everywhere talking their books, talking their stocks all the time. They don't seem to hold. So, I mean, you can, say, oh, I love this stock, and the GameStop and AMC have been exceptional. And they've been the exceptions to the rule here. But it seems like every time, like that's what I was saying with the Reddit, with the CRSR, why I sold my CRSR, is I've got a history here that these aren't holding. These, when they get these pops off of the chat rooms or off of Reddit or off of social media, they typically aren't holding in most cases, and they're giving them back relatively quickly. So I don't know if I don't follow the story. I did see it hit my filter a few times, but I just ignored it. I saw it going crazy. It's not my cup of tea to trade this kind of stuff, but everybody wants to trade this kind of stuff because they want to get rich fast. People want to I'm going to get that big trade that's going to change my whole life. And you know what? AMC, GameStop maybe did change some lives, and that's good. It's good stuff, but it's not typical. It's not typical that you're just going to win the lottery in the stock market. So I think that's what everybody's trying to do is what's the next lottery? What's a stock that's going to go up 1,000% so that I can, put all my money in it and retire? That's not typical. Typical is what happens is that people get burned on these things at the end and they lose a lot of money. So I know some people made some money if it went from 5 to 77. You got to sell when the circus is in town. Sell your peanuts, just like Harlan Pine says. Circus left town here with his complete response letter. It's back down to 696. It's hammered. Everybody's a bag holder in this from the last 5 days. Big time bag holders here. It's tough for these things to come back. This
pisses me off. This is what the SEC should be looking at. Maybe they will. I don't know, but this is just ridiculous. You know what I mean? Just ridiculous. Anyway, I just wanted to get that off my chest.
I don't know, if and again, I don't know the story, but if people are pumping these things, I mean, I think that stuff regulators are going to start to look at. It's kind of a warning to your social media accounts. It's why we don't like to talk small stocks. Right. Because we don't want to be say, oh yeah, you're talking your small stocks. We're not about that. We're about teaching. We're about education. We talk mostly mega caps. Yes. We're trading big things on technical setups. There is going to be a day of reckoning for a lot of these people out there who are just talking their books. We already saw, we warned about this a few months ago, some trader out in California got charged on a pump and dump scheme. There's a lot of pump and dump schemes out there right now. I'm not naming names, but there's a lot of traders out there that are simply, even in Reddit, that's why the mods are doing a really good job, I think, at Wall Street Bets. People are just trying to come in there. They're trying to load up a stock and then they're trying to put it in there and hope Reddit grabs it, And the mods are taking down anything with a small float. because they don't want, to be accused of this, obviously, and they're doing a good job with this, but everybody wants their stock to be the next stock to be pumped, and and I'm going to get rich off of it. There's a lot of the pump and dump schemes have existed in this market forever. Back in the 1990s, it was newsletters. You'd get these, email newsletters. Remember those, Joel? Where the hot stock of the day, and they're hoping, that what they do is they buy the stock, they load it up, then they pump it out to their millions of email subscribers, and they hope those email subscribers will buy the stock up, and then they're going to sell it to you. You can talk whatever you want, but if you're coming on actively and loading up a stock and then pumping it out there and then selling into that pump, the regulators are eventually, they've said so much that they're going to start looking at that stuff and cracking down on that. So, I mean, that's, that stuff's going to get cracked down. I don't know. I'm not following this ORPH story, so I don't know anything about this one. I'm not sure if that's what's happened in this case, but you just got to be careful trading this kind of stuff.
All right, let's bring Markus on. Markus Heitkoetter is the founder of Rockwell Trading, joins us every Friday. Markus, good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning. Wow, yeah, for sure. Crazy markets, huh?
We're getting ahead here a little bit, Markus, here. I mean, what? Okay, so we're going to stay. I think today we're not even going to talk ride. I don't want to talk ride because you give us lots of good trades here.
Wait, no. Just before we do that,
you better watch the talk ride.
Just for 2 seconds.
All ride all night long.
Just give us a quick update, and then we'll move on.
No, I mean, yeah, I'm still in ride, and
okay, that's it.
Watching ride is almost watching your kid learn to walk, right? You almost think, hey, you got it, buddy, and poof, it face plants again, right? And I mean, this year, you got it, and then poof, falls down again. I mean, they are just shooting themselves or keep shooting themselves in the foot. Right. So here's Ride, and if you just zoom in, they had a few good days. So the CEO, the CFO resigned, and this was on Monday, the news. So on Monday, at first, the reaction was like, what's going on? They put an interim CEO and CFO in there. They gave an interview on Tuesday, and everybody loved it. And so Tuesday and Wednesday were going well. And then yesterday, it was again, okay, do you guys have binding orders or not? Well, no, we don't, but we said we do. And it's really like watching your child trying to walk.
Can I say, I don't think it's like watching your child learn how to walk. It's like teaching your child how to ride a bike. Like they're gonna crash. They're gonna end up with a bloody knee or something.
Knee pads. You gotta put knee pads on.
No, they gotta crash. You gotta scrape your knee and cry, and you just gotta. Then you gotta run. But Dennis, you're gonna be an old man.
I just went through this literally a month ago, where my boy, well, actually it was last year, I guess. It was last year where he was really starting to learn how to ride a bike, but he had a bad crash there about a month ago, and he scraped his knee up exactly that, because now, you know what it is, it's overconfidence now. He's been riding a bike for like a year. He's 6, and and he's going around there, and then he starts speeding really fast and doing a little more adventuresome, and then boom, he wipes out, and it's like, on his bloody knees, what you're talking about. But
anyway,
Markus, your analogies are awesome, though. We went on tangent on a Markus analogy.
Yes,
what are you doing this week? Because now you got it. He's always looking at buying the dip, and he's always looking at rating some spreads here. Yeah.
I mean, Triple D, you said it. Buying the dip. How do you do this? Well, this is where I'm selling puts, right? And I mean, selling puts means that I get assigned at the price where I want to buy. So I can just run you through a few things. By the way, I'm just a few $1,000s away from cracking $100,000 trading profits this year. So I think right now I'm at 97,594. So hopefully next week we can pop the champagne, making, 6 figures with trading. Yay. And I know I didn't make it with AMC and GME. I saw somebody in the chat said it earlier. I've been trading for 10 years, and then his buddy comes along, trades AMC, and makes a killing. I know this must be frustrating. But
what's your average cost now in Ride? Did you bring it down yet? Because
we went away from Ride.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just want to know, because I thought you might be selling puts off that $9 level.
I did. For me, honestly, the level that I'm looking for to average a little bit more down was the 7 level. So if I sold puts at the 7 level, but it never went down there, so didn't get assigned.
I got you.
But collecting more premium right now. I collected a little bit over $15,000 in premium on Ride, so can't complain. But right now, talk about buying the dip. I'm a little bit all over the place here in terms of what kind of stocks. For example, Penn, I like Penn still. So strike price of 75, we'll see. Pre-market, 75.45 expiring today. If it is, today Penn closes below 75, I'll get assigned, and I don't mind owning. I think this would be 2,700 shares in Penn. So a little bit of online gambling. Then I also have Alcoa. I mean, I think this will be a very fun, because there's lots of premium in there. So I sold the strike price of 35 because this is where I say, you know what? I don't mind at all owning Alcoa at 35, because I do believe, I mean, we know what's going on with China right now and all the metal stuff, but there's a good chance that this pops right back here into the range of 36 or 42, somewhere around there. Camping World, this will be an interesting one, but Camping World, I like this stock. I like Camping World. So I sold the 37.50. We'll see what happens today. Right now, pre-market, they're 36, and he said it earlier. I mean, today is a quadruple witching. Today, anything can happen. I mean, this stock could jump to 38. Who knows? But if not, I'm getting assigned. I'll sell calls. And see, this will be a week where I probably nicely load up on shares, and then I can sell calls. And honestly, selling calls, this is where when I look at my account and I look at the highest profits that are realized, GDXJ, I was assigned there, made $20,000, mainly selling calls. Right, $15,000. Win got assigned there, made $8,700. Uber got assigned. Apple. So I like it when I'm getting assigned, and when I'm buying the dip here, when I'm buying at a price where I feel comfortable. Let's see what else. JWN, Nordstrom, strike price of 32.50.
Okay.
So a little bit all across, right? I mean, a little bit of growth stocks. Can you call it
diversified
a value stock?
Extent.
Maybe not necessarily, but yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens today. Today is definitely an interesting day. And yeah, right now with who was speaking this morning and just send the market
Bullard.
He's on there still talking about him on CNBC. Kramer's talking about him now. I mean, he moves markets and he started selling. We were almost at scratch, and then Bullard came on and then imploded the markets here. He started talking about raising rates as early as late 2022. So okay. I think the market maybe got spooked a bit there as well.
Yeah, but it's super interesting, because if you look at the reaction to the Fed over the past 2 days, it was like growth stocks were benefiting. And you think that growth stocks would be hammered by higher interest rates, but they did really well on Wednesday and yesterday. So we'll see what happens today. It was surprising that the Dow actually has the worst week since January thus far. The Dow, right? I mean, you would think that value stocks, but you said it earlier, maybe right now is a good time to dip your toes into the reopening stocks. And this is why I also, I mean, besides Camping World, I own LVS, Las Vegas Sands. So
I own that too.
I like Las Vegas Sands. I think that we will do well here. Vegas is reopening and people are getting ready to travel. You said earlier, do you want to get on a cruise line? Not necessarily. Do you want to go to Vegas? Probably heck yeah, right? So
yeah, I think so too. I think I'd rather own the casinos and the cruise lines. I think I agree with you, Marcus.
Yeah. Anyhow, so this is what I'm up to.
What are you eyeing?
It has been
what are you eyeing? So this is what you've done. Now, what are you eyeing today? Because we're getting a significant sell-off, and you like to sell some puts when you're getting the significant sell-off, when you can get that premium. What are you eyeing?
So right now, I have like 6 open positions, and for me, my sweet spot is anywhere between 5 to 7.
Oh, you don't want to add too many.
So most of them will expire today. So today, I'm just sitting on my hands, watching them either expire worthless or getting assigned, and then say, let's collect more premium. So for me, today will be a super quiet day. And honestly, as you said, quadruple witching, you don't even want to watch it. I mean, it'll just drive you crazy. It'll drive you from nail biting to yippee and oh god. So I mean, I'll probably take a day off today. I have my positions on. I'm liking this, and then I'm loading up again on Monday. And honestly, if we keep selling off here, this will be good. There will be plenty of opportunities. X, by the way, you just talked about it. I traded X this week. You see, I actually. Was it this week or last week? I sold puts at 22.50. I already closed it because the premium got sucked out of it so quickly. But I wouldn't mind owning X at 22.50. That for me is a good level. So buying the dip, I do it by selling puts because he said, I mean, you got to wait for a bottom. And here's the deal. I mean, you know how it is. You either enter too early or you enter too late. There's no right way. I mean, there's the only two ways to enter is too early or too late. So this is why I like the market to come to me. And this is why I like to sell puts here. So yeah, I traded X. That was a good one. That was a quick pop.
I sold my X 2 days ago. I'm looking too, though. I think I like your 22, 21 level right in there for X. I like to wait until they actually hit rock bottom, I was saying, and then you get a little lift day, and then I lean on that old low as an out. But everybody's got a different style there too. Markus obviously a different style as well. So
yeah.
All right, Markus Heitkoetter is the founder of Rockwell Trading. To learn more, to hear more, go to that website that's up on the screen, rockwelltrading.com/Benzinga. Markus, I'm glad that we were able to talk about things other than Lordstown Motors this week.
But it is the endless saga. You see, we can talk about it for weeks and months. I could write a book. Maybe I should write a book.
What's up? What's your strike on the Las Vegas Sands?
Hold on, Las Vegas Sands.
Is that for today?
No, I'm already in for 58. So I'm selling calls against it right now. So I'm selling the 58 calls.
He's already long it.
I'm already long
it. He already got it signed.
Okay.
So he's long in, and now he's selling upside calls, just bringing in more premium.
Okay, I just keep an eye, Markus. Keep an eye on this 54 here. 3 out of the last 4 lows were trading under it. I'd really like to, for you, so I don't have to worry about this one as much as I do your ride position. Like to see it get to 54. Just hold that area. It's the area of 4 lows. You don't have much on your monthlies until 50, but keep an eye on 54. Okay.
Yeah, but they also have good premium weekly. Okay, Joel, since you're already looking at the chart, so right, what's your prediction? I know that a couple of weeks ago we talked about it.
Yeah.
One minute. I just want. Is that
could they just stop coming out with bad news? I mean,
the market responds well to it, though.
Just at the chart. I mean, forget
just look at it. I mean, we talked about the 9.
That's for laughs and giggles.
I like the 9. But I'll tell you right now, if somehow you could get this thing over 11, until it gets over 1150, 1160, I think you're going to maybe come back down and test that 9 again. And even today, 10 better hold, because it's just, man, this thing just comes out with too much back. I mean, every day. But yeah, I'd say needs to clear 1150. I'd be worried if it took out 10 today, because I think you're looking at 9.
Yeah. So I don't want to sell the 9. I don't want to buy more at 9, but I like the 7. I like the 7. So I'm looking to sell more puts at the 7 level, collect premium there.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Markus.
Thanks a lot, Markus.
All right.
Guys, let's talk about GE here.
GE?
Yeah.
People make fun of us.
Something going on, GE.
Remember that reverse split that was like rumored but never really happened? And yeah. What's happening now?
It's official?
Official 1 for 8. Okay, reverse split effective August 2nd.
Why did they do this? So it's official. They've got a date on it. St. General, effective date, August the 2nd. I mean, the stock's selling off the overall market. I guess everybody kind of knew. They already said they were going to do it. So it's official now. They got an official date. I never want to own a stock ahead of a reverse stock split, because they never seem to go up as much as they're supposed to. So I don't know, in GE's case, maybe it'll be perfectly going up, but why? I mean, you got a $13 price. I don't get this. I really don't get this.
They want to be sexy, man. They want to be stable.
Well, obviously you lose 87% of your stock position. So you got 1,000 shares. You're going to be left with what, 125? Did I do that math right? That was right in my head right there. Pretty quick.
That's Canadian, man.
That was good, Dennis.
So, I mean, I hate it when they take my stocks away. So splits work a lot better than reverse splits. I have no idea why they were doing this. I don't want to own G at all before this reverse split. Maybe for trades, we can do it for trades. But if you think you're going to get a run up into a reverse split, it's not very common.
Nick mentioned the other day about setting alerts, so I set an alert here, and I'm like, if this thing, I probably set it, I don't know, like 3 or 4 days after it hit this 1440. And I'm thinking, wow, all these monthly highs here. So I put an alert that if it trades over, 1450, to look at it, see if it could, a breakout or a fake out. And I haven't gotten an alert, man. The thing has been straight down. Keep an eye on 1280. If you feel like this is a good thing, you want to own it, down 9 cents. I see 4 lows, 1280 area. After that gets pretty ugly. But man, how many down days in a row has GE had? Holy Toledo. But looking at 1280, potential support, General Electric.
Noah says he voted no.
I would vote no too if I owned it. I don't have a vote because I don't own it.
Yeah. All right. Now they don't anymore. Okay.
We're limiting the chat now. You have to be a subscriber.
I'm doing an experiment. It's called an experiment, Joel. If you can't come,
that's not very nice.
Why not?
You should be happy about that.
Like to subscribe.
You hit a button and boom, you're subsubscribed. It's got to
be part of the family.
Yeah, but then they have your algorithms. Then they have your algorithm. And they can track you down.
No.
And spam you.
Subscribe on YouTube. It's not. This isn't anything crazy. You hit the subscribe button.
It's a YouTube subscribe button.
YouTube thing. Speaking of YouTube, we are launching a YouTube membership program in the coming weeks here. We'll have more details about that. We
had an M&A merger. CAI gets taken out for a huge premium.
Up top, at the very top of my filter of my movers tool this morning in Benzinga Pro, CAI International is being bought by Mitsubishi Capital for $56 a share in cash. Ticker CAI.
0 people got the memo on this one. They kept this one tight-lipped because the stock was tanking into it. So, surprise for everyone here. $56, huge premium, 46% premium. That's nice. That's a windfall. If you're in it, I'd sell it and just book on, move on. That's a nice windfall. I wouldn't expect a better bid.
Who's the acquirer?
Mitsubishi.
Okay, I don't look at it. Forget it.
Yeah, they don't trade. So at least not in New York. At least not in the U.S.
All right, now everyone in chat saying that I guess people had to unsubscribe and then resubscribe, but it should work. It should work is all I'm saying. Let's do some ticker time here. Drop your tickers in the chat. We got a few minutes left, and then I'm going to bring on Ryan Faloona and Jonathan Mallard, and they're going to do some trading into the open stuff and hang out with me for a little while. Okay, Alfred. What about Cheesecake Factory?
I haven't looked at this one for a while.
Portions are too big.
I love big portions.
Portions
I love
too big.
It's run a long ways. You know what? If this got down to 40, I'd like it, but that's a long ways away. But I'm saying longer term, this is kind of where it was before COVID started, and now it's overshot. Are we really in better shape than we were before COVID started? I have a challenge, getting on board these stocks that got hammered for COVID. Obviously, we had I think Cheesecake Factory wasn't even paying the rent for a while. Weren't they one of them?
They were like the first one that said, "Hey, we're
not paying rent.
We can't pay our rent."
Yeah.
But then they did,
and then it makes new all-time highs.
Yeah,
obviously the reopening trade is cool and everything, but is it really are we really in better shape than we were before COVID started? Because you go back to the charts, that's what I like to look at. Take the COVID out as a one-time event. Where were we before COVID started? And we were $40. Now we're 54. I have a challenge thinking the Cheesecake Factory is better. Are they going to get a lift, from everybody wanting to go out, like, Scott Lady was saying yesterday, everybody's pumped. Yeah, it's going to get a lift. We're going to have some great earnings. Is that going to stay? That's a question going forward. So I like it at 40. I think at 54, I think you still got a ways to come in before I'm interested.
I agree.
Okay,
I concur.
Right along. King 14 Ox. No Ras today, unfortunately. Big CEO man has big CEO things to do and can't hang out with us, but that's okay. The show must go on. Let's talk about
Roblox.
Okay.
I saw somebody throw it in there, and I wanted to talk about it.
A whole 36 hours.
$80 is the level. This is the level. This is where it broke out from. 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago at the end of May. This is where it kissed right to in the pre-market and in the regular session on June 16th. That is your level. That's the level it needs to hold. If it can hold there, maybe eventually it starts to get some life back too. I kind of like the Roblox as a trade, but stopping myself out below the 80.
Resistance at 86.5. Pair of highs there. No upside until it clears there.
What about Viacom? It's been so quiet.
Oh, man, it has.
It's done basically nothing in the last 3 months.
I cannot figure these stocks out. Discovery, Viacom, we had Fox. It's been kind of going sideways. Fox announced a big buyback there last night. They're shrugging that off, and it's not even getting any love for that either. I don't know. I own Discovery. I put some in there. It's starting to break down, though. It's making me think, like, I don't know. Is this going to be the undercut and rally trick from Gil Morales? It could be. I'm looking at DISCA making new lows on the move, and DISCK. I'm down to. I actually was up in this nicely. I had bought it at $30. I think DISCA. I bought it right around the 30 support. You can see that, and it came up, and it got up a little bit there. I bought it back at the end of May. And it went up to 32.70. I was up 5-6%, but now it's leaking. Doesn't look like it wants to continue to go up here, but I don't know. We're at a level between 20 and 30 where I think eventually you could find some buyers in here. It's in my long-term account. I just kind of wanted it. I wanted some exposure here. I thought Discovery was a better pick than Viacom for, I don't know what my analysis was back then, but both of these stocks just trade together. They're nice pairs trades.
Yeah, hard to make heads or tails. I mean, it's just consolidation station. I think the fact that it's not moving out of here, I could do it more as concerning. As more as a negative.
I think so too. It is concerning. I'm talking against my book.
Yeah, a little bit there. That's quite all right. A couple more. Oh, we haven't looked at Snowflake for a while. I haven't.
I haven't either.
In a couple of weeks, I think, maybe like a week or more. Snowflake. Oh,
that's interesting. That crazy valuations, obviously, they don't come back nearly as quickly. It's still the valuation's insane, like the candle from yesterday. So you know what? I think I'd buy the pullback as a trade, stopping myself out. Oh, it's a long stop out down to 231 though, Joel. I was looking at yesterday's low. I was hoping that was 241, but it's 231. I was like, 11 points. You know, you come back in. I kind of like the candle from yesterday. I think this is a stock that could eventually get some life. I'm not putting in the long-term investment account. This would only be a trade. The valuation's too nuts for me to invest in this thing. But I'd stop myself out if I was long into that 231.
Yeah, I mean it's funny because you look at the daily chart and you're like, whoa, this thing's had a nice run. Look at this, and then you go and you look at the monthly and you're scratching your head and you're saying, wow, this thing was over $400. I mean, I'm going to look at resistance here. So show me you could even. I mean, you're $8 away from 250.70. That's your 5-day high. Then another pair of highs at 255, 254. So there's resistance there. So I think I'd rather buy this on strength. On a pullback here, though, an extended pullback, where'd you come up from? Like 185. Let me get out my retracement tool here. If you want to buy it on a dip, 220. And you got a low right there at 220. So if this is for real, goes into retreat mode, comes down to 220, holds, consolidate, then maybe get another 50, 60 point leg up there. S&P's making a nice rebound here after they got bullered off the TV. Good job, Spencer. We are back above. Guy, man. Gosh darn. Now they could probably get someone. They probably got someone on to say, "Oh, Bullard doesn't know what he's talking about," and we're coming back up. So we are back above yesterday's low we talked about at 41.80.
I don't want to forget Amazon because Prime Day is
Dennis.
Day is Monday.
What a run into Prime Day, huh?
When is Prime Day?
Monday and Tuesday.
You're gonna be mad at yourself, Dennis.
Should have been loan this. You got to be
should have been long.
Long Amazon every day this week. I
should have bought long more Amazon.
I said it every day this week.
I gotta listen more. My wife tells me that too.
I definitely said it at least 3 times
on our show.
Yeah,
you do so many shows. Spencer, he's everywhere.
He's the star. He's the star.
I swear.
You got a lot of shows.
I do too many.
I don't know. It's run up so far here now. So I mean, we have been running 3,200 to 3,500. This has been the play up here to sell 3,500 every time it gets up here. Does it top out on Amazon Prime Day again? I think so. I'm going to stick with the long-term investment, but I'd be more inclined to sell it up here and buy it if I had it on for a trade.
You talked to your straddle buddy? Is he doing okay in this?
But he's been just collecting $50-$60 every week for
probably
a year. So he's going to continue to do it. And you know what? And he does it. And when he gets assigned on it, if he all of a sudden short the stock, then he's going to turn around and do the options against it. I mean, so it's similar to Markus. I hope, anyways, Amazon's worked really well because it's been in a sideways market. Option writers love sideways markets.
All right, I'm going to hop off, go over to premarketprep.com and get all these tickers in that we missed. So, Spencer, we'll see you at 3:30.
So many tickers.
I just want to say this is option expiration. You're going to see some crazy movement. I don't think it's surprising that we're bouncing back for the simple reason that all these buy imbalances that were there this morning have got larger. So there is not very many sell imbalances here this morning. They're all huge buy imbalances still. The Morgan Stanley imbalances has grown from 150,000 to 404,000. Okay. So if these buy imbalances do continue to grow, and if they don't all flip on a dime, which they can do, and if you don't subscribe to that information, you're missing key information on a day like this. But as of right now, this market's going to continue to bounce back because right now the market would open. If we open right now, this market would open higher. So I mean, one of two things have to happen: all the buy imbalances have to flip to sell, or this SPY has to come up significantly. So we're going to find out in 30 minutes what is going to win.
All right, Dennis. See you on Monday.
We'll do that. Thanks, Spencer. Everyone have a great trading day. Have a great weekend.
All right. Let me bring on a couple of my friends here. So normally we'd have Jason Rassing on, but I mentioned he's off doing, CEO things. So I've got the next best thing, Ryan Faloona and Jonathan Mallard, two of our Benzinga Pro gurus and also traders. And Ryan is going to, I'm bringing Ryan on here. Mallard, if you're good, give me the thumbs up because I don't know if your AV is functional yet. Ryan, good morning.
Good morning. The next best thing, I'm feeling all warm and fuzzy inside, Spence. Thanks a lot for that. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I love the send-off there by Dennis. That's actually something I knew today is a quad witching as well. I'm definitely going to be mindful of the volatility that we're going to see today, but that send off on the imbalance there, that's key information. If you don't follow Dennis Dick, you are missing out. That is really good stuff. So I'm interested to see who wins here at the open. I'm going to be looking for some trades with the market down. I'm going to be looking for some relative strength. We'll see if that flips, like Dennis just said, when the market opens. But a lot going on. How are you? What are you looking for today? What are you looking around for?
I'm looking for a lot of weirdness at the open.
As usual.
And after I expect, so the fireworks at the open, fireworks at the close, but I do expect an otherwise rather quiet day. We had all right, let me rewind. I expected a quiet day about an hour ago, and then Bullard started speaking, and then the market tanked. So maybe now I'm not so sure. But I thought, okay, we're in like mid-June. We're past the meeting on Wednesday with the FOMC. I had expected a quiet day, especially because yesterday we saw this wicked rotation right into tech. The banks got creamed. I thought, okay, that's enough of a move for now. Let's just sit and digest that. But now it's anyone's guess. Now that Bullard kicked things off this morning, who can say? Jonathan Mallard, if you're good, give me the thumbs up, man. I'll bring you on here. All right, he says it's good. Let's bring him on here. The three of us are going to hang out with you into the open. And then so that's what I expect, Ryan, to answer your question.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. I said yesterday, actually, in the pro chat, we actually had several discussions this week on the happy hour regarding the Fed decision. And to me, this is very simple. I mean, the Bullard thing notwithstanding this morning, to me, this is really simple. It looks like we're not going to have rising interest rates until 2023. And so and we also have a new president in the beginning of their term. We have midterm elections in 2022. No one wants to be raising interest rates when they're trying to win an election. So I'm going to go ahead and say that the second half of the year here could be really good for tech. And I think that explains the rotation that you were seeing yesterday, as well as the banks getting hit. So I would stay with tech leaders personally. Facebook, Amazon, Apple. I don't have any trading position. I'm obviously still in my investment position. I don't have any new trading position around these names. I'm enjoying seeing them come in a little bit. Perhaps we're going to get a better price on that. But to me, based on what I saw, I think it's risk on for the second half of the year here.
Okay. Jonathan Mallard, good morning. Can you speak?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I hear you. Yes.
All right.
You figured it out, man. Awesome. Welcome to the show here. Ryan, I'm going to bring your screen up if we can. This is Benzinga Pro, guys. Ryan and Jonathan are on here all day, every day. Ryan, what are we looking at right now?
All right, so what I did today is I'm trying to prepare for the open here. And so what I did was I used the movers to get an idea of what's gapping up, and then I just applied a filter on the volume so that I'm looking at things that have traded at least over 1 million shares in the pre-market. Because if I'm going to take a trade today, it's got to be liquid. I got to be able to get in and out. So effectively what this did is we found all of the biggest pre-market gainers based on percent change, and then I whittled that list of 100 down to 5, and I went ahead and just marked off some price levels here. So I'm going on trading around the open can be quite difficult, right? Institutions generally don't trade in the first 15 minutes of the trading action. You can see some wild swings. On top of that, we've got a quad witch today, and we have an imbalance that's going to need to get paired off or figured out here. So generally speaking, I'm going to try and be as conservative as I can. I'm going to wait for the trade to come to me, and in particular, when we have a market that's down, I'm going to look for relative strength. And so what I have here are just a couple of names that I've gone ahead and actually charted. I just basically went through here, drew some lines on some previous support and resistance levels. I used the 1 minute chart to get an idea of what's going on in the near term. And then I'll flip over to the daily chart. I'll look to the left and try and identify some more key levels that might be in there. And so effectively what I'm doing is, if a trade materializes, great. If not, then I'll wait for the next opportunity here. So we've got a list here for it. Looks like this list just shrank a little bit.
Yeah, that Ampc is interesting with that. It looks like it's an FDA headline there. So
yes, sir.
Looks pretty significant, and it's just consolidating here a little bit. So we'll see if the volume continues to pour in at the open. And then someone was mentioning Ford Lightning in the chat there. It seems like it's come down from recent highs, but near that $14 support level, it looks like, and then recent support level before that big gap. So I'd be watching that around the $14 level for Ford.
Yeah, I think that's a sharp call, Jonathan. I think if we hold that 14 level, we might turn back around and then retest 1650 here. Unsure if we're going to do that in one day, but to me, that looks pretty good. Spencer, I remember, can you remind me how to actually turn the ticker overlay on the background here so that it might be easier for viewers to see which ticker we have pulled up? I remember we did this before, but I cannot remember for the life of me how to turn that on.
Yeah, you just go to that gear settings, right?
Yep.
Yeah, on the right there, go to appearance.
Yep.
It's watermark.
Go to watermark. You got to check it, right? And then you can make it. In your case, can you make it a little bit lighter? And I can also.
Yeah. No, good call. Good call. This is exactly what I was looking. I knew I could count on you, Spencer. I knew it. That's beautiful. Is that light enough? Is that easy enough to see on the broadcast?
Great.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Okay, great. So, and then one more thing about Ford. I got a little lost there while I was looking for that. One more thing about Ford. I actually think that Ford has a really good chance at becoming the electric vehicle leader. I know that may sound crazy. We could probably have a whole bunch of Tesla bulls in the chat on the channel right now that are ready to come after me with pitchforks. But honest to God, I really think that Ford could end up being the EV leader a number of years in the future. With the fleet and the reach that they have, it wouldn't surprise me for that to be the case. I also think that they would be capable of selling cars at a much cheaper price point than a company like Tesla. So I think that the future is actually bright for Ford. I wish Mike Rao were here to pat me on the back and help cheer my thesis forward here. We'll see if it pans out. I could be wrong, but I actually like Ford over the next 3 to 5 years.
I mean, he caught this recent pump up, so we'll see how it continues going. I mean, I actually live in Dearborn, Michigan, so that's Ford's headquarters, and I can tell you they've gone all in on the EV place. It'll be interesting to see how that develops as they actually scaled back a lot. Like they got rid of their minivan. And they're really focused, and then they've got the Mach-E, right, the new Mustang. So we'll see if the gearheads and the truck owners really adopt the EV play.
I screwed this one up, guys. Because I was playing it for the electric F-150 and sold it, and that was a few dollars ago. I mean, I made some nice money on it, but I mean, it was a good trade, but. I should have just never sold. The lesson here is just like never sell anything, right? Ever. you just
that comes straight out of the Charlie Munger textbook for trading, doesn't it? Just never sell. Dude's what, in his 90s, and he has hardly sold in his career. It's really amazing. All right, Kat, we're trying to do a show here. Come on.
See, TRCH is in the chat. Torchlight Energy Resources.
That was the one that fell off this list. Interesting.
Okay, so it looks like it had a huge gap up a few days ago, and then it came back down a little bit. Now around the 545, 550 levels. And so what's the news catalyst here? What's going on with?
Let me flip over. I was just trying to figure out why this actually went off the list, but let me go to the news tab here real quick. Interesting. So yesterday we had an offering. I don't see any news fresh for today though.
Okay, I'm just looking back. See, that was started on the 14th, I think. 14th and 15th is what we want to look at.
And then we have an article here saying it's the most overbought ever, circled and everything. Wow. So interesting.
Yeah, it looks like they announced a special dividend on the 14th. And then looks like everything just went crazy after that. So special dividend to the moon, baby.
Well, you know what's interesting about that is that so yesterday morning was actually when we got this offering news. So that would account for the sell-off. Now it did hang in there, right? Hung in right around 5, closed at right around 550, and we've actually held that through the pre-market session today. So this one might be interesting. You might get a multi-directional trade in this over the course of the day with some of that news. So we'll see what happens. I like I said, I'm going to wait and see if any of these come to me. I'll take a look and see if any of the other other stocks look appealing. I'm not sure about Apple. I think that if we're definitely gapping down here a little bit, and I think that if things do kind of turn around, perhaps we can actually shoot that today. We'll see. We'll see how we need that opening print. We need to see what's going on before we actually decide what it is that we're going to trade. Looks like AMC hopping up here on movers now. What's you guys' thought on AMC? Last time that I was here, I tried to give it 4 thumbs down. Dennis told me to turn my phone off for the weekend. But what's your guys' opinion on AMC?
I've been saying as long as it's holding up, right? And as long as it holds up here, then I'm bullish. Is all there is to really say. Like on the daily, I've just been looking at that range, that big candle right on the second, that range of 35 to 72. It's a big freaking range.
Yep.
As long as it stays within that range or above, I'm bullish. So
all right. So I can already tell you, Spencer, that our Strat family out there is absolutely loving what you just said.
Yeah.
What we have right here is what's known as a mother bar, and every other candle is inside that range. So I'm with you here. The next move is probably not going to be a huge one until we actually break out of that range. Which one is that going to be? Not really sure. I will say this, though, with all of the enthusiasm that has been in this name and all of the other meme names, if we snap this high from that candle on the second, 72.62, I mean, I'm sorry. I think if we snap that, I think the next level is going to be 100. I really do. And the reason that I think that is just because there's so much impetus and momentum behind this name that if technically we break out of this range, oh my gosh, look out. I don't know that we're going to do that today. I'm just saying.
All right, let's look at a couple more of these tickers in the
Throw
chat.
It up for me, Jonathan.
We got BIIB Biogen to look at, and then TCNNF. So Biogen obviously went crazy a few days ago.
Yeah, this was from that. I believe this was from the Alzheimer's drug patent news, right? Let me figure that out here real quick. This was June 7th. Let me go back to the news flow for.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah, that's what I thought. We've been discussing this in the happy hour as well. This actually had some effect on some of the other stocks like AVNC, Sava, and then we saw yesterday SNPX went absolutely bananas. All of those have to do with Alzheimer's treatment and therapy. So Biogen, this is a really good company as far as I know. Jonathan, as you know, I generally stay away from the biotech companies just because I feel as if I give up my edge on that. But this Biogen is no no stranger to making gigantic moves like this. And so, you know, I like seeing us hold this up here, right? I think that as long as we don't break down into this big candle, I actually think that we could probably go back and test 427 eventually in the future. So I like this. The whole Alzheimer's angle is really, really appealing. It's a really, really terrible disease. And to be able to have any type of treatment or anything that helps those people, that's a huge market. It's a huge market, lots of money. It's going to be really good for these stocks. So, and really good for humanity in general. What was the other one, Jonathan?
The other one, let's see here. We got ALGN and then TCNNF.
TCNNF. And before we get to that, someone's asking what the happy hour is. You've mentioned that a couple of times now. Explain what the happy hour is.
Absolutely. So the happy hour is basically a Zoom-based meeting. So instead of it being webinar format or YouTube format, it's a meeting where anyone is welcome to turn on their microphone or camera. And we discuss different trades, setups, ideas. We'll often build a thesis as a community. We'll build a watch list as a community. There's a whole bunch of really, really good connected traders that are in there. We have a couple of people that talk to management often and then share the findings that they have. So it's a communal place where everyone can kind of talk about recent market happenings, make predictions, and then just kind of share some due diligence and information. We run that, by the way, Monday through Thursday from 4 to 5 Eastern every day.
Yeah, and it just goes to the point, guys. Like, we don't probably talk about this enough, but within Benzinga Pro, there is the news, there's the research, there's the data, there's all this stuff, but there's also a community in there. And there's the chat, there's the happy hour webinars, there's a webinar that we had this morning that also aired on YouTube, and there's a whole community in Pro. And you get to talk to the news desk, talk to Ryan, talk to Jonathan, other traders. That, I think, is one of the big selling points that I undersell a little bit, but I want to mention that. All right, let's talk about TCNNF. This is a OTC name, cannabis company, multi-state operator, one of the largest MSOs in the United States. I think they're like top 4, top 5, maybe. I'm going to check with New Cannabis Ventures right now. Yeah, they are the 4th largest cannabis company in the U.S. in terms of revenue. And this is one that I own, have owned, will continue to own. I don't know if Ryan has thoughts on the chart, but you shouldn't really like. I'm long and strong, and I'm diamond handsing like the crap out of this thing. So like, that basically don't listen to what I say because I'm not going to sell. Like, you know what I mean? Like my opinions on this is similar to everyone who's like long and strong AMC. Just like, you kind of got to take it with a grain of salt, right? Same thing with me here. Like, I'm not going to sell this stock, so that's where I'm at. I have nothing else to say other than I'm not going to sell this stock.
Okay, so I'll give you my opinion on the chart. I have no position in this. I have no bias on this. This chart looks awesome. All right. Anytime that you see a chart that makes a huge move like this, retraces some of that move, and then holds it with tests, and in this case is multiple tests, definitely really good. I don't think it's a coincidence that we're holding in here around 35.40. I basically just drew a Fibonacci retracement from the low point on the graph, which was the coronavirus low of 2020, up to the high here, and I extended it a little bit so we could see some of those lines. We're sitting right at 0.382 here, right on the line. We actually, if you look closely here, I'm sorry about all the colors, we actually gapped above this level. We retested this level, held and bounced. Now we're retesting it again. So I'd want to see this hold. For your trade plan, Spencer, I mean, if you're going to hold this, if this is an investment that you're going to hold indefinitely, what the chart does here is not going to matter to your trade plan. Exactly. But for anyone else that might be looking for a new entry, or perhaps a little bit shorter term, or a little less diamond handsy, you entering on a support seems like a really good idea. If this actually breaks down, if you enter here and this breaks down, well, then you can actually just kind of sell and wait for the next support level to hit here. Looks like our next support level would be around what, 29-ish, 29, 73, maybe 30-ish, right around there. So I like this. I'll say this. I like the cannabis sector. I don't have a position. I haven't started building positions. I think that we're still in the infancy. If I was equating this to a baseball game, I would still think we're in the first inning, maybe the bottom of the first inning, top of the second, tops. But I really like this. I really like this industry. I think that we're going to go through a lot of M&A in this industry. And so what that would mean for the investor is that even if you don't pick the stock that ends up being the company at the end of this, you might actually pick a stock that gets acquired along the way. And that could actually pay you quite a nice premium. Maybe TrueLeaf is one of those. Who knows?
Just to put some numbers behind this,
do it.
I said that, you know what? Actually, why don't I just share my screen so you all can see what I'm seeing? This is the site New Cannabis Ventures. We had the guy behind it, Alan Brockstein, on the show a couple of days ago here. He's got this nice little table, this ranking of cannabis companies, plant touch companies in the U.S. and in Canada as well. If you scroll down, TrueLeaf right there, number 4. You can see their quarterly sales makes them the 4th largest company in the U.S. in terms of quarterly sales. 15% year quarter-over-quarter growth, 102% year-over-year growth. If you look at the other, these aren't all MSOs. These are not all multi-state operators, right? Scotts Miracle-Gro is more diversified. GW Pharma is getting acquired anyway, so it's not really relevant. GrowGen is like Home Depot, right? So these aren't all the same kinds of company. You kind of got to know who to compare it to. Like you can compare TrueLeaf to Cresco, right? Compare it to Green Thumb. These 4 actually are the 4 that I own. These 4 that I'm highlighting, okay? And that's not by accident. I intentionally bought the 4 largest ones because I figured, well, why not just go, like, if anyone's going to succeed, it's probably one of these 4. They're already the biggest, and we live in a world where the big get bigger all the time, right? I think the top 50 largest companies or the top 500 make up, like, I don't know, what is it, like 30-40% of global GDP, something insane like that. So the big get bigger. I'm just betting on size here, and so that's who I would compare TrueLeaf to, was these other 3 that are highlighted, and those happen to be the 4 that I own. So I like TrueLeaf and take Ryan's analysis on the chart as it is.
Yeah, I mean, I like TrueLeaf too, and I really like your strategy of going with the leaders there too, because again, even if one of those companies is not one of the ones that finishes as a leader, chances are there's some type of either product or intellectual property that they have that someone is going to go after or buy, perhaps even just their book of business. I don't know. I do like your strategy, and the other thing is that I want to address right away is I say it all the time on a lot of the programs that I'm on. I normally don't trade OTC stocks. The cannabis sector, a little bit different, right? This is an actual sector with actual companies that are actually doing things. So I will bend my rule a little bit there. I want to be very, very clear. While I don't trade OTCs, I try not to participate in some of the junk trading, for lack of a better term. But what you listed there and what you just showed on your chart there were quality companies. And that it's not to be lost. There are quality companies that are listed on the OTC. I mean, Samsung is listed on the OTC market. That's a real company.
Tencent is OTC. Heitkoetter, Adidas, can go all day. There's like 100 that companies that you've heard of that trade OTC in the US. All right, let's go back to Benzinga Pro. Bring up my movers tool. We are 8 minutes away from the open. Again, there will very likely be more fireworks today than normal because of the quad witch, because SPY goes ex-dividend. So it's going to be interesting morning. At 9:30, I'll switch over to my scanner tool, which is blank for now because it only starts at the open. So for now, pre-market, what's up, what's down, what jumps down to us? Anything?
Yeah, let me remove the filters on mine here real quick, Spence.
Okay. Yeah, I have a couple of filters on mine. I filter for price. I filter for just price.
Yeah, no, I throw a minimum market cap filter of 1 in there just to remove ETFs and warrants so I can get an idea of what the actual equities are. I think
that's a good idea.
Yeah, that obviously with the scanner, there's a proper field for that. But in the movers tool, that's your hack or your workaround to get rid of those. I think one of the interesting things that jumps off the page for me is CVAC which is on the movers list there, or it's on mine. It might not be on yours the way that it's filtered.
Yep, it is.
To me, this is really interesting, right? We had news the other day about a vaccine that was just terrible efficacy. I think it was in the 40% or something like that, and the stock ended up getting shellacked. Now it's traded up since then, and a lot of the time stocks will bounce after really getting hit. But what I would like to know is, and shame on me for not knowing this ahead of time. I would like to know, is there something else in their pipeline that they can work on, or that they can release, or that they are working on? Excuse me. Generally, I would think that if they had one shot on goal and they missed that shot on goal, you'd continue to see a sell-off. But you're actually seeing the buyers hold in here, and this is not a $4 stock. This is a stock that was in the 90s that got slapped down to the 40 handle, and now we're back in the mid 60s. So there's obviously some desire to trade a bounce here. This is a huge range that we've just carved out. But I'm not sure of what the catalyst is. And to me, this price action is interesting. So just to answer your question, what stands out? That will be the first thing that stands out to me right off the top here.
To answer your question, Ryan, is anything else in the pipeline? I don't think so. I'm looking right now. Looks like they do have like a lung cancer drug that's in a phase. Okay, they got a couple things, but they're all in phase 1.
Okay, and then so then we're a ways away, right? So and we're gonna be at the mercy of the release of that data when it does come out. I will say though, if there's a lung cancer drug in there, that makes a lot of sense. Oncology, cancer, those are going to be big fields, lots of money, and the stocks that end up releasing some type of product or treatment, again, very, very beneficial. So that makes a lot of sense. Good DD there, under the gun too, Spencer. I'm impressed.
I'll tell you all where I found this information, by the way. Very simple site, biofarmcatalyst.com. Yep. Put up on the screen there. Very most of it's free. Biofarmcatalyst.com. I spelled it wrong. We go. That's where I looked that up just right quick. All right, what else? Go back to my movers tool. Let's see what chat. What are you looking at? You're looking at
what's chat looking at?
SWBI. Or we're looking at Mara. We're looking at
Smith & Wesson is up 5% off of an increased dividend,
and they had earnings as well, and they had a buyback. They did a bunch of things.
I mean, I went shooting like a couple weeks ago for a bachelor party, and all I gotta say is the cases of ammo are there in the stores, and people are gonna keep buying them, and people are gonna keep shooting. I just don't see an end in the demand for these types of products.
Yeah, Jonathan, how were the prices on ammo? Do you recall?
I think it was how many were in the case? I don't know. It was like. I was looking at 9mm.
Yeah,
I'm gonna misquote it, but
it's all right. I was just wondering if the prices are coming down. They've started to come down a little bit, and so I feel like one of the reasons I haven't gone shooting recently is because ammo has been so expensive. I mean, at one point we were talking about a box of 50 rounds of 45 was $50. We're talking $1 a round for 45 caliber ammunition. That's absurd. And as far as 9mm goes, I mean, that should be back down around 50 cents at some point, maybe even less than that for a box of 50. So I would say that as far as the thesis goes, I totally agree with you. I think that these gun manufacturers are going to continue to go up. I think that one of the other things that you might get is you might see a continued rise in some of the ammo names. So you might want to pull up, Spencer, you pulled up my screen already. This is actually POW. This is an ammo producer. We actually talked about this in the happy hour back when it was in the fours, back before it had this huge run here. And what I really like to see from a chart perspective here, I really like to see these higher lows. All right, so we're clearly in an uptrend. I think one of the things that we want to do is we kind of want to break out of this wedge that we're forming here. Once we do, you might have another trade here. Now, as that relates to Smith & Wesson, I think that these are going to be a little bit, I mean, we see kind of a similar trend here, but I think that they're going to behave a little bit differently. As far as actual manufacturers, Jonathan, I completely concur with your assessment. I think that the demand is going to be there. What we saw over the past couple of years is just a massive increase in firearm purchases. I think that the companies are they're making the firearms as fast as they can, and they're selling them as fast as they can. And I think that's Spence, to your point, they just reported earnings. The earnings were good.
Yeah,
they must have been, right?
I don't know a lot about guns, but my analogy that I want to make is like ammo is to guns what like ink is to printers, right? That's how they get you, right? It's not the gun, it's the freaking bullets.
Yep. And so what a lot of people don't think about when they're actually, especially new firearm owners, one of the things that they don't think about, they look at the price tag and the gun, they're like, okay, I can do that. And then the reality is that, obviously guns are not toys. These are tools. And like any other tool, if you are not practiced, you are not going to be proficient using that tool. So in order to practice using firearms, you need to fire ammo, and that is expensive, and that is often forgotten by consumers, especially newer consumers that aren't used to that. And so, again, this trade is a tough one. The big thing here is that obviously you are at risk of any type of political headline or any type of discourse. I mean, or God forbid something, some type of tragic event like a shooting. These stocks seem to move around on those headlines. So as far as from a trading perspective,
I finished up.
We're right at the open.
We're at the open.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's look at the actual your watch list, Ryan.
Let's get Smith and Wesson off and look at something like SPY or something. Let's look at
let me go ahead and get my list back here for the stocks that I wanted to watch at the open. I'd be happy to put SPY up here, or Spencer, if you want to put SPY, if you want to share your screen and put SPY on there. I do kind of want to watch these names.
There we go. Okay.
All right, so there's the gap down. Kind of expected.
Banks all going down again still.
Were you going to share the SPY?
Yeah, 1 second. I'm trying to bring up my Pro. My computer is deciding to not cooperate. Here we go.
Don't you love when it does that around the open?
All right. 1 minute chart here. Don't normally go there, but desperate times. Okay. So here's the SPY. Let's just go through the sectors here. Okay. Let's just do this one by one. We got financials getting crushed, right? Jesus. Look at the banks. All right, moving right along. I bet you energy's down too, right? It's down yesterday. No, I stand corrected. Energy reversal at the open. Let's zoom out a little bit. Down all pre-market session. Bump at the open. What about utilities? That was also down yesterday. Oh, man, utilities. Okay, opening lower. Not a total surprise there. Materials. That's not right. Materials. Same story. I bet you industrial, same story. Yep. Technology, bet you it's up. No. Okay. We tried to go up there first minute or so, but now we're leaking. We are leaking. Communication services. Is anything green here? Is anything up this morning, anyone?
Ampc, shoot. Ampc is trying to break above that 538. Okay, so I'm filled at 537. So live trade right now. Really going to keep a stop kind of around 515 on a sell-off here. Really actually hoping that we break around 550 is what I'm shooting for here. So we'll see if this actually materializes.
I'm just watching you now. I kind of want. I want to see how this shakes out.
Yep, no problem. I mean, I'm really excited because last week we were able to go 1 for 1 in the live trades. We'll see if it works out this week. Seem to be running into a little bit of resistance here. Oh, that 540 wall. Let's clear that out, baby. Let's go. Nope. All right, I think if I get 545 again, I'll probably just cut it and wait for some re-entry. Otherwise, it feels a little heavy here. Feels like we're actually going to trade down. 530 buying support. Looks like that is going to fall. It is. Let's give it one more attempt to bounce here and see if we can actually get that. See if the buyers take over here. That's trying. This is trying. We are totally within this range that we identified here, but
CLNE is taken off.
Yeah.
It bounced
all right.
in.
Good catch. This is a Reddit play. Watch out.
It's going
Watch
back
out.
down now.
This is
So
a
it went
Reddit
up
play.
to-
Let's take a look at a couple of sources I talked about a few days ago that I use to track Reddit sentiment, stocks getting talked about. CLNA frequently among the most discussed stocks on Wall Street Bets. Let's see how it is this morning. Yeah, it is the most discussed stock this morning on Wall Street Bets. I guess not a total surprise to see that happen.
So real quick, guys, update on the Ampc trade. I am out, and I am out at an 8-cent loss. So the plan that we got did not materialize. Looks like I was shaken from it, which is unfortunate because it looks like we're trying to kind of hold in there. So this is the risk that you run trading here around kind of the open. So kept the loss small today. Really not a big deal at all. Should be able to make that back, but trade today was for a minor loss.
Smith & Wesson is up $1.
There we go.
Pow pow.
What's the other
Smith & Wesson running.
Wait, what's the other one? RGR?
RGR is Ruger, and then ammo is, or POW is ammo.
Take a look at RGR.
Yeah, so gun stocks seem to be pushing right off the open here.
I'm keeping it
like we said, right? I mean, if demand isn't decreasing, we haven't seen prices decrease significantly. It's a money machine. I mean,
Jason says should have bought the dip on ORPH. Jason, good luck with that. This is, if you're watching like an hour ago, I was ranting about this. This is BS. If you can control your risk in ORPH, great. I mean, I don't know how you do that. There's no technicals or anything to lean on. This thing was just manipulated up to 77, and now it's at 8. So
we call that a box job.
I'm not sure how you. I don't know how you trade that, but if you know how, then great, go for it. Or unless you're just blindly buying the dip, which I guess is also a thing that one can do. Except when it rips your face off. What else is Chad talking about? Square, yeah, they had a price target this morning. I saw that. VSTO. Yeah, okay. Makes sense. Outdoor names.
I saw SSNT in the chat here. I don't really see this. I don't really see this doing much out of the open here. Gurn is building huge volume. Gurn is actually on the list here this morning. Let's take a look at Gurn and see what it's doing. All right, so this is why we marked those levels off. Really kind of traded into that 156 support region. Looks like we're waiting for the buyers to kind of take control of this. I'd like to see some volume expand here to move back up towards this 164. So here we go. So who was that shouted that out? Sarah Adam. Good shout on Gurn there. Gurn, excuse me. Ryan, I got 30 cents on ANPC. Lele, awesome job. You actually traded this better than I did. I was definitely shaken, right? I definitely pulled the plug a little too bit there. I would be impressed. Now we're about to hit my 550 target. So let me actually pull that back up here because you're going to always learn more from your losses than you are from your gains. And so what happened to me today just got shaken out of the position. I work on this on a regular basis. Sometimes I'm successful. Sometimes I'm not successful. This candle right here shook me out, right? So we didn't come all the way down to 503. I actually took a late fill because I thought that the sentiment was changing on the way back up. We popped above 538. We didn't really run, and we kind of traded back in here. And I waited for us to pop back to that before actually closing it. So I closed it a little early, took a minor loss, The goal there was to keep the loss small. And then we started to see some of these buyers come in here. All right. So we actually traded above that 538 level. We got above my target. We got above 550. So if I had just held out there, this would have been a successful trade. Again, shaken out here. Lele, awesome job. What was just absolute beast of a trader. Great job getting that. How much did you say that was? You actually had more than my 30 cents. Way to go. Monster trade right out of the open. That's what we do.
Very obvious trend shaping up in the first few minutes today. Stay at home is working. Reopening is not. Go look at Roku. Go look at Zoom, Teladoc, all higher. Reopening trade, whether you want to look at retail, whether you want to look at airlines, cruise lines, all down here today. Very obvious trend that jumps out to me in the first 9 minutes.
Yeah, I concur. Caesars down as well. Sorry, Jonathan, didn't mean to run you over there.
Yeah, I was looking at Caesars earlier.
Avis budget is continuing to fall. It's how many down days in a row has Carr had?
I mean, I'm just saying, for my personal sentiment, I think this is a buy the dip opportunity on reopening plays.
I would concur with Jonathan.
I mean, people do not give a care, and that's putting it lightly. I mean, just people want to get out. It's going to be a huge summer. Ryan, when you and I were in Vegas a few weeks back, I mean, we saw how busy it was.
Yes, sir.
I am extremely bullish on reopening plays.
Yeah, and you know what? Billy Big D. Awesome.
It's Bill Big D.
Bill Big D. Saying that lots of green in tech land. Tech definitely holding in there. So although we did gap down, we were actually starting to trade up. Taking a look at Apple and Twitter right now as proxies for that. Square two. We've traded all the way back up through the pre-market gap. Let's bring that up here so we can visualize that, right? Let's click on 1 minute chart. So in the pre-market, we sold all the way up. We've got all of those losses back already. Didn't take long here. So tech looks to be moving here. VIX also coming in a little bit too, right? We had 2077 in the pre-market, printing 1952 right now. So let's see if that VIX continues to get crushed throughout the rest of the day here.
The one thing I will say here, though, is I would expect a divergence between the technology reopening versus staying at home, and the recreation reopening versus staying at home. Like, if you look at Zoom video, ZM, and the nice little channel it has here in the past couple weeks, like, personally, I think that the business tech for stay at home, work from home, I don't think that's going anywhere. So when I said I'm extremely bullish on reopening, that's just a differentiation to keep in mind there between the tech versus the recreation.
That's a really good point, Jonathan, because I think some of the habits that we had while work from home, I think are going to stay in the market. And I think a lot of those depend on the technology that you're just talking about. And you're right, Zoom in a pretty steep channel right now off the bottom here. I'm bullish on these names too. You know, the other thing about Zoom real quick is that Zoom's got everybody beat on video conversion. So there's actually another angle here for Zoom that I really appreciate, in addition to just using virtual meetings in place of in-person meetings. I render video all the time for what we have to do here. And I got to say, there's really no program that does a really fast, good job of rendering like Zoom does. I think they got everyone beat on that. So
look at Asana. Look at HubSpot. Basically, I would call this the Benzinga vendor ETF.
Yes.
All the people that Benzinga pays. We pay these technology companies. We use HubSpot, Zoom, Asana, Slack, Salesforce. I haven't looked at Salesforce today, but like, what's Slack doing? I'm seeing positive trends for most of these.
Slack's getting bought, so chart is not relevant.
Okay, right.
But Upwork, right? Who else? Atlassian, right?
What's their ticker? Atlassian.
Team.
That's a good one.
Team.
Yeah.
Twilio. Oh God, we paid Twilio so much money.
Yeah, we do. Actually, Atlassian, Spence, to your point here, breakout of the recent top here. Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Oh yeah. Green sky, blue skies. Of course, I said green skies. Blue skies ahead. Oh my gosh.
Yep. Look at oh man, Spencer, click W and look at that weekly chart on your screen there, real quick. This W weekly. No, I'm sorry. For ticker team. Click on the weekly candle aggregation. No, my fault. Clarity. There's nothing like clarity, right? Where's Jason?
Okay, weekly and team. Yeah.
Look at that chart, man. Look at that chart. That's what we want to be in, folks.
Looks like a W. Is the W pattern? Is that a thing? Double bottom. That's a thing.
Yeah. Okay. I can't speak. I know. I see what you're pointing to. I can't speak to if this is actually making a W pattern. What this is doing is it's breaking above that high. That was a February 15th high.
Oh yeah.
The candle today, we're above that. If we close above this, I would expect another upward leg here. We're seeing Gurn and a whole bunch of money symbols in the chat. So
12%, 13%. We're moving.
Gurn.
So yeah, we're really coming off that bottom. We are really, really coming off that bottom. Let me go back to my movers. Let me see if I actually had that charted up here. Oh man, 156. I had that pegged. Looks like we actually went down to 154 at the low, but we are. So this is again what we're doing here. These lines were drawn just from the price action today, and then I clicked over to the daily chart, looked to the left, as they say, added a couple more price lines, and then I zoom in and try to play the actual momentum here. So we had a big red candle, big seller here in this 1 minute window that briefly took us below 156. Buyers immediately stepped in. We retested 156 and held. To my eye, it looks like the next stop here is 164. And of course, as soon as I said that, we get another red candle and it starts going back towards 156. That's about perfect.
Who's producing right now? Is that Mitch doing the? Who said about the dating sites?
Yeah, it's Mitch.
That's Mitch. Yeah, look at Bumble right now.
What is Bumble's ticker again?
DMBO.
Yeah, I don't even know dating site tickers, but like, what's Tinder or?
It's MTCH is what Mitch was talking about. Match
Group. Do they own Tinder or something? I don't know much about the dating sites.
Yes, they do. Get it, guys? Tinder, Match, Fire, Ember.
Holy shoot! I feel stupid. Way to make me feel dumb, Spencer. I appreciate it.
Wow.
I didn't get that until a few years after it, so don't feel dumb. I mean, it took me a while to get that one too.
And actually, if I was going to draw this line a little bit tighter, interesting on Mitch. I think this is probably why Mitch brought this up here. Let's see. We wanted to take a look at Workhorse. Let me take a look at Workhorse real quick.
All right, I've still got this match chart up.
Yep, all good.
It's nice to look at for the moment. You see a lot of consolidation. It just so you've got this range going back a month and a half. Looks like it's trying to break out. It is breaking out of that range today. Nice call out there, Mitch.
Ride is
DoorDash, but to our point about
I haven't looked at DoorDash for a while. How's it doing?
Trading up.
Wow.
And for all you gamblers out there, UTME rounding off the bottom.
Stay at home is working. Jeez. UTME.
I do not advise anyone trade UTME. We just get asked about it all the time. This is a box job. This is a company that is being manipulated and pushed around, but it is moving. So MTP, one of our stocks of the day yesterday, breaking down. Looks like it's about to trade back down through yesterday's lows. That would be night if that happens. Neo pushing up. Yeah.
Let's go back to Ryan's screen for a second. I want to fix my scanner tool. I got a couple of things going on here. Reopening is I'm sorry, stay at home is hot today. Look at DocuSign too. They also had a price target from Wedbush this morning. All stay at home.
Oh my goodness. Look at that power move in DocuSign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about with DoorDash, I have 3 kids. And my wife is like, why would I ever want to go grocery shopping again? I mean, if you're a mom or dad of 3, and you got to
I guess.
haul your toddlers around some store and have them like grabbing stuff off the shelves. I think we're going to see some of these services. I mean, we'll see about profitability, how much they can stick around. But just got to say, like, my wife never wants to go back to Costco with 3 kids. So if she can pay someone to do that for her, then they'll have a job.
I tell you what, I don't want to see your 3 kids running around my Costco when I'm trying to do my shopping. All right, either. So
I'll just say that your little discussion right there tilted me. I am completely tilted after hearing that. I can't imagine going around a grocery store wrangling up 3 toddlers. Jonathan, I don't know how you and your wife do it. You guys are superheroes.
They essentially just beat her into submission, where it's like, no, we will get 3 packs of I don't know, gummies or whatever. But,
I just want to Sarah Adams saying, Ryan, what trading software is this? Would you mind telling us? I wouldn't mind at all. What you are seeing on the screen here is Benzinga Pro. I've basically, when I'm trading around the open here, I use 2 different workspaces that I've created, which I would be happy to help you create. I use the movers and the details tool. Oh, what happened here? This is our what's moving scanner preset workspace. I use this to get an idea of what's going up in the pre-market, kind of set the table for the actual open. Then once the market opens, very much like Spencer, I switch over to my scanner. I actually have 2 scanners in here and a details tool so that I can look at a chart. The scanner on the top is my predominant one. This is basically scanning stuff out that's low liquidity that I'm not going to be able to get in. And then more specifically, it's looking for volume surges and up moves. So I'm trying to catch something that is either reversing or starting to move up toward, off of the bottom. And so you can see here, these were the stocks that my scanner has caught so far. Hope that answers your question. My broker that I use is TD Ameritrade. I use the Thinkorswim platform.
And I use Fidelity.
How do you like Fidelity? I've heard great things about Fidelity. Just like literally the people that have it love it.
It's like anything. It depends what you're using it for. If I was a more active trader, I would absolutely not use Fidelity because their Active Trader Pro software, I think, is lagging behind Thinkorswim, TradeStation, and others. But for what I use it for, which is more like longer term or swing trading, I like it. Their order execution is very good, I think. Right? I typically will get some. Not that I'm trying to pinch pennies on my orders because I'm not making day trades here, but I typically get good prices on my orders when I do send them out. Honestly, it's one of those things where it's like it's what I've always used, and I'm not like I'm comfortable with it. Whatever you're comfortable with, right? And I'm comfortable with Fidelity. So I like it. I would not use it for active day trading, but for what I use it for, I like it. For the active stuff, I'll do like I've got a Webull account with some money in. I'll use that. But I like Fidelity's site, and I find it easy to place orders, and so that's just what I use.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I've heard good things about that. I am used to Thinkorswim. One of the reasons that I switched to it was because they have an excellent paper trading software. So before I actually started doing this for real, I taught myself how to do it in a paper environment, and I just used what worked, right? So I funded the account in the paper trading account that I had. And I think that's actually a really good strategy. I wanted to address a couple of things that I saw in chat here. Number one, let me get the name, James Adams. He's the winner with the comment there, use both. I get asked all the time.
Oh yeah.
What broker should I use that's not going to go down? And the reality is that eventually they will all experience tech problems. That's just how the world works. If you have both, you can minimize your downtime. So James Adams, great comment. Having more than one broker is always going to be the safest way to ensure that you can get trades processed, even when one of your other brokers is going through a technical difficulty. And then I also saw that Mitch wanted to talk about coin here real quick.
Wait. Just before you transition, I just put a link in the chat right now. Benzinga does reviews on every major brokerage, so check that out again. And I want to echo Ryan's point. Actually, Fidelity, I have never had Fidelity conk out on me when I'm mid use. So
awesome. Let me tell you something, man. That's big time. That is a big endorsement. So That's real good. And you're not the first person I've heard that from, Spence. There are other people that have the same experience you do.
Yep. Okay, so, back to what you're saying. Sorry.
Yeah. So with Coin here, so the company I love. Full disclosure, I use Coin. I have 2 wallets. I have a wallet in Trustpilot and a wallet on Coinbase. So I'm absolutely a user of their product. I love their product. I'm so ingrained into their ecosystem that when the whole Dogecoin mania took place, I never bought any because it wasn't available on Coinbase, and I wasn't going out looking for any other type of service to buy some of these altcoins, to put it cleanly. However, Coin, I really, really like the company. I really, really like the product. I definitely want to be a long-term investor in this company. When they were doing their pre-IPO stuff, the numbers that they released were staggering. This company is an absolute monster. I will say though that the whole Bitcoin phenomenon is going to have its effect on Coin. You're going to see some of these drastic moves. If you ask some of the buyers that bought on the IPO day around 400 or a little bit higher what they think of Coin, I would imagine they're not going to be too happy. One of my theses on Coin was if you're going to trade this around the IPO, scalp it, wait for it to trade down and find a bottom. And so now here I am looking at the chart, and to my eye, it looks like we found a bottom. One of the things that I want to stress to people when you're trying to time this, first of all, you're never always going to be right. When it looks like something can't go down, believe me, it can go down further. So just have a plan in case of each direction. However, when you're looking for a bottom, understand that bottoms are going to be sloppy. Very, very rarely do you see that perfect V where it just hits a bottom print and then takes back off. That seems to be a rarity. So what I'm seeing here in Coin, where it actually makes a bottom and then kind of trades back up. We got a higher low here. We're kind of trading sideways here. This is what I want to see. This is where I feel like an actual bottom is being carved out. So I do not have a position here. I know Mitch said he's looking to take a stake maybe today. We'll see what happens. One of the things that I would do here is I would actually trade this against what appears to be forming as our bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and just mark off some of these candles here. Trade this against 220 seems to be a pretty good resistance level if you're going to scale into this position. The other thing is if you're going to start building a position, I wouldn't go all in on your first buy. If you want to buy a position of 500 shares, maybe buy your first 100 today or your first 150 today and see what happens. There's no penalty for adding to a winner. If your trade thesis continues to materialize, adding incrementally to your winners can actually increase your leverage. And then if you really believe in the long-term prospects of this company, adding if it continues to go down can give you a better cost basis, but just understand that you're actually piling on more risk. So one of the things that I'd like to look here for a new position, I want to see this hold. I don't necessarily need to see this go back to 220 in order for that to materialize. I just need to see some interest, and I want to see this kind of turn back up. Initially, in terms of like a first street sign here or a street post, 240 looks to be the first level that I would want to see, and then probably 250. Once we get past that, I would be sitting in this for the long term. I think eventually this company is going to go much higher than where it's at.
All right, couple more things. I know you guys got to hop at 10. I just want to pull up the SPY real fast because we are at the lows of the session. Where's my SPY? There it is. At the lows of the session, be mindful. When the market does reverse, it typically takes a half hour, 45 minutes after the open. So we're already off the lows now, but we were just at the lows as Ryan was talking. So fireworks today. Bullard not helping things with his, hawkish tone this morning, which feels unlike him. But that's sort of where we're at right now. Banks continuing to drop here. I'm watching the bank stocks. They are all continuing to fall with the market. Wells Fargo, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, JP. Yeah. Citigroup has had, guys, how much has Citigroup fallen in the last, look at Citigroup in the last, this month, just since the start of June, okay? Closed May at 78? And it's at 67 right now. It's been a brutal month.
Yeah, it sure has. Sure has. And to your point about it being a brutal month, Spence, we also plunged right through some of that near-term support at 69. Nice. We actually plunged right through that. Didn't even bounced maybe a little bit, but not really anything significant. And now it looks like we're trying to find the next level of support here.
I'm also looking to sell the rip in Chinese education stocks. TAL up 5% today. Just zoom out and look at the last couple of days. Every day catches a bid at the open, and every day closes lower. So here's TAL, a daily chart. Okay, so whether it's TAL or EDU or whatever, they're all up this morning. Classic sell the rip opportunity in both of those names. That's what I would have my focus on.
EDU, huh?
Yeah, these are both Chinese online education. There's some regulation crackdown happening over there.
Oh my gosh. So we got huge bounce. Bounced right off 750. Monster. Yeah. I'm with you, Spence. I'd sell that rip too. 100%. Great call.
Sama, when is Marcus joining? Marcus was already here, Sama. Rewind the show like an hour and a half, and you'll get Marcus. Guys, that's how long I've been on.
I love it when people in the chat are like, "Have a great weekend, Dennis." I'm like, "Thank you, I will." I'll just pretend that I'm a much better trader than I actually am. So.
Guys, any final thoughts before we'll let you go here? And
have a good day, have some fun, be mindful of the volatility, and of course, protect your capital, folks. Make sure that you can show up on Monday to trade again.
It's a good lesson. Yeah, always live for another day, right? You don't have to catch every train. There will always be another train. You don't have to trade unless you have a gun to your head, but I hope you don't have that.
Yeah, I hope nobody has that as well. So.
All right, Jonathan, Mallard, and Ryan Faloona. Guys, these guys are on Benzinga Pro engaging with our users all day long. If you want to talk to them, there's the link up at the bottom of the screen there. It's on the ticker, pro.benzinga.com. Free 2-week trial. If that's not enough, you can subscribe, enter the promo code YouTube20, YouTube20 will get you 20% off any subscription. You can also email them. I'm going to put their email up on the screen right now here. Onboarding at Benzinga. Where's the email? Onboarding at Benzinga.com. I lost the email.
Real quick, I got to shout out Lele again. Just an absolute beast today. Just got another 25 cents on the short side for ANPC. So awesome job, Lele. This was the stock that I identified and actually traded today. I kept a very, very small loss, 8-cent loss. Lele hammering this long side and short side. Awesome. Great job.
Typing it right now. Onboarding at Benzinga.com. There's the email up on the screen. Jonathan, Mallard, Ryan, Faloona are engaging with our users all day, every day, giving us an hour of their time here this morning. And for that, we thank them. Guys, have a good one.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a great weekend.
All righty. And then there was me, but I am not alone. I am bringing my friends. I got more friends here that I want to bring on here. And before I do that, I should probably take a moment because we went right from Dennis and Joel to Ryan and Jonathan. I just want to take a moment and outline the shindig for today. So I'm going to hang out on the stream with you guys until 11 o'clock. SPAX Attack is going to start as it normally does at 11. We got the Power Hour at noon. Get Technical at 1. Moon or Bust at 2 o'clock. They've got something big going on today. They're supposed to be talking to FEG token. What does that mean? You have to find out. You have to watch to find out. The Stock Trivia Show, our weekly trivia show, that is, frankly, our one of our more fun and definitely more casual shows at 3 o'clock. Joel and I will be on for At the Close at 3:30. Money Mitch back at 4 o'clock. And Technically Options with Brad Weber on to round out the week at 5 o'clock today. Okay, let's bring on my next guest, Zunaid. And what are you, bearish there? Is that what's going on here?
Yeah, I figured we'd have a little bit of fun. It's a bearish, I don't want to say it's a bearish market, don't get me wrong. But yeah, it's nice to see a little bit of pullback. Just a little bit.
Don't hide behind your mask, man. Tell us what you're feeling.
I mean, so look, for me, I don't necessarily trade SPY itself, right? I like to look at stocks that have relative strength. What that means is if SPY is down 1%, what stocks are up 1%, 2%. So for me, what I traded this morning was your Nvidias, your Twilio, and I did grab a little YOLO in AMC, $70 calls. Pray for me.
Whoa! When?
I bought that. I can tell you the exact.
When's expiry? Is that today?
Oh, it's today. Oh yeah, no, we're degenerates. Oh yeah, no, we don't invest.
Okay.
No, we get in and out.
The 70 call is expiring in
about 7 hours. What is that?
7 hours? Yeah.
Yeah. Why not? I paid about $1.40, I think. Let me see if I'm down on that. I'm probably down on that, aren't I?
Oh my goodness. Oh God.
Oh yeah, I'm down 40%.
Please remember, it's up on the screen. All right. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna double time it. I'm gonna put this up in addition. Please remember all the information meant to be used for informational purposes, not for investing or trading advice. For the love of God! All right.
Yeah. Wow. Listen, if you want to listen to Jim Cramer, he said don't get into AMC till 2:45 today. So I said I'll get into 2:45, but I'll also dabble into it a little bit earlier. But I am down 40%. Fun stuff.
All right. Options are scary.
They are.
Don't trade them unless you actually understand what leverage is and how it can blow you out, or in some cases make you money. But
you want to learn options, but you haven't yet. Is that right, Spencer?
My options education has all mostly been, well, not mostly, it's all been on paper. I have a very good paper understanding of options, but a very poor practical understanding of options. And I learn, some people learn by reading. I learn more by doing.
Of course.
And until I actually do it, I will consider myself to be a noob, because that's how I learned things. And so even though I could tell you textbook definitions of options, because I've never actually done it myself.
Right.
I consider myself to be a total noob. And
Well, I will say this. My favorite time to play options is on Thursdays and Fridays, because they move so quick. Like the options themselves, especially like weeklies, they just move so quick because they expire in 7 hours, right? Those are my favorite times. So we need you to join us, degenerates, and grab one of these lottos one of these days, Spencer. I'm sure the chat will hype you up and support you in wasting your money.
You know what? I do have a Webull account. It's burning a hole in my pocket. I'm itching to blow it out. So maybe next week or so we can set up a trade together, and I can I may have to add more money to it, but
we need, you know what we need, Spencer? We need a show where Jason Raznick every Friday spends $1,000 on a YOLO on live on stream, and we just see what happens. He can afford it. I'm sure he can afford it. And it looks like Spencer has left me, and he's left me here by myself.
No, I'm here, man. I'm just.
Oh, I was about to say. What do you think? Should we have our leader spend $1,000 every single Friday on lottos?
That would be that would be interesting.
I have no idea what the legalities behind it is.
It would be fun for maybe the first few weeks, but then it would get Jason would start to get pissed off, I think. Yeah.
I'm just imagining Jason coming in randomly at 2:00 for this show and being like, guys, I'm up 400%. This is crazy. Wingstop for everyone.
Oh, God. Actually, we haven't. I felt weird bringing this up, but this is the longest we've gone without somebody buying food, like lunch for the office, in months. Like,
well, you've been gone, though. You've been on vacation for a bit.
I've missed a day here and there.
Oh, that's it? Okay, I thought you were gone longer.
No, I missed a day here and there, but I wasn't going to say anything, but I guess now I just said it. So we haven't had lunch for the office for like it's been like 3 weeks now, which is like a record since COVID. So,
wow.
Anyway, no one cares about that. Let's get back to the market here. AMC is reversing, and so it here. There's my chart up on the screen there. It's a 15-minute chart. So we've stopped going up for the moment. Again, I'm maintaining my bullish stance as long as we stay within that mother candle range from June 3rd, right? 2nd, whatever, that mother candle, as long as you stay in there. Mm-hmm. I'm not changing my mind. I like the stock. I don't know. I can't help Zunaid, unfortunately.
No.
Zunaid is is up shit's creek here right now. But short term, any who knows? But long term, I like it. Longer term, I like it. Medium term, at least, I like it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. And for me, let me just pull up. Are you able to add the VWAP on there very easily or no?
Yep.
Okay. Well, it's below VWAP.
Wait a minute. That's not what I want to do. I want to indicators.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No worries. The reason I wanted to bring this up is for two reasons, right? I believe, and if you're okay with this, to me,
go to a different chart, make it bigger.
While he's doing that, VWAP is such a strong, especially for me, intraday indicator for you to like quickly scalp. So as Spencer pulls it up, you can see AMC bounced right at. Is this the 1 minute, or can you go to 1 minute?
I can do that. Oh, look at that.
Beautiful. Look at that. You can see it touched the VWAP, closed, and it bounced higher, right?
Yeah, so
right around there.
Because it broke VWAP, but at this candle, but it didn't close. In this candle, it closed at the VWAP.
Yeah. Exactly. Do me a favor, pull up NVIDIA, because this is the one that I actually traded. I put a limit order in at 760.50, and you'll see it hit VWAP right there in the morning, and it bounced right off. So like if you guys are day trading and you're not using VWAP, highly recommend it. So take a look at it, test it out, see how it works, because man, it's a beautiful tool, especially when like you have stocks that are trending, which NVIDIA has been for a while, Spencer.
Yeah, VWAP, I have no way of knowing this for sure, but I'm just going to venture a guess. VWAP is probably one of the 2 or 3 most common day trading strategies out there.
Absolutely.
Trading off the VWAP.
The risk reward is insane, right? I mean, it's just ridiculously great. I'm surprised your VWAP is all the way up there, but regardless, I just wanted to make sure I talked about it because that's literally the strategy that I used for 2 of my trades this morning. And I don't know, someone asked in the chat, what's the difference between AVWAP and VWAP? I actually don't know that.
Me neither.
I'm not aware of that.
AVWAP? I don't actually know if I know what that is. What is it? Is it like an average weighted?
We'd have to get back to you on that one, buddy.
Anchored. I didn't know that. I never heard it called before. It's anchored VWAP. So it's actually you know who talks about anchored VWAP a lot is Jake Wujastic from Trend Spider talks about that a lot.
Oh really?
He's on our show every Monday at when is he on? Monday at 5 is when he's on.
Yeah. He has a beautiful system of, I think it's called a raindrop indicator. I don't know if that's what the name of it is, but it's a raindrop, and that's great.
That's it.
I got to learn more about that because he seems to love it, and he's a smart guy. So I gotta do my research on that one.
Yeah, he'll be on with us this Monday unless he has a child before then.
Okay. They're expecting. Yeah. That's always fun.
Okay, let's get back to the movers tool. Let's get back to the charts. That's not where I want to be. I want to be here. Okay, so. What's moving here today? Let's look at CAI, your top mover, no surprise. Let's get my people off there. My problem with indicators is I like that. I use them and then they clog on my chart and then I'm like, get off.
The only one that I ever use is the VWAP. Yeah. That's the only one. Anything else, no thanks. I don't do the death cross, whatever.
Yeah.
But that's the main one I like to use.
Is there anything that's up today? In all seriousness, I know SWBI we talked about because they had earnings. How's Adobe doing? Are they up? No. Basically, nothing is up today. There is way, way, way more red than green out there.
100%. Yeah, Twilio's only up about 1.5%. Nvidia's up about 2.5%. So that's the reason I played that one in the morning. But
we talked about the stay-at-home trade was strong at the open. DocuSign still going.
Oh my God, look at that.
DocuSign still going. Zoom probably. Oh, that's not Zoom. Zoom probably still going. Not really. Starting to turn. Maybe starting to turn. What about Roku?
Roku had his newness in the morning. I know Charles called it out on Benzinga Pro as well.
What? I missed it. What was that?
I'd have to look. I think they had announced they had announced something. Don't quote me, but it was something about how original content has
record number
there you go.
There you go. Record number of unique accounts streamed on the Roku channel. It doesn't interest me. Actually, speaking of Roku, Nielsen had this. Go back here. Nielsen had this new tool they put out. This was yesterday, and they're tracking usage of TVs essentially that have their devices, obviously. And according to Nielsen, only 26% of TV usage time is spent streaming. So the other 74% is broadcast, it's cable, it's gaming, but only 26% of the total TV usage pie is streaming. So in that regard, and you're saying it's basically equal to broadcast. Broadcast is just, your 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 those channels, right?
Okay, so like your antenna channel,
right? Exactly. And cable is everything else. Cable is like your cable net, your networks, your AMC, right? Networks, your Discovery, all that other stuff. Everything beyond like 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
Right.
I wonder what that like year over year looks like, especially with COVID, because obviously everyone is inside now. Everyone's like getting out. They're like, no, I'm done. I watched enough Netflix, Hulu, whatever. I'm going out.
I felt that way for sure, but there's so much to watch, man. Zillow, yes. Whoever Mitch, I think mentioned Zillow about an hour ago. Zillow has been strong today. If Z, it's arbitrage the Z and the ZG. ZG has less volume, I think.
Yeah.
Looking strong there.
Shout out to Sarah. Says she made $500 on GETN. Got out with profit. That's what you want to do. Don't be greedy. Pigs get slaughtered.
All right, GETN. That's Jern. Wait.
GETN.
That's not it.
Unless they had a typo. Did you lie to us about your profits, Sarah? Come on.
We were talking about Jern, right? Talking about Jern. That's what we're talking about. GERN. She was talking about. Okay, nice trade, Sarah. Nice trade. Will Baba break out today? Well, if the trend is your friend, probably not. If I had to bet one way, all right. Let's look at this daily in Alibaba. It's just brutal.
They had a huge in the money sweep at 10-12. I don't know if that's when it kind of, around that time actually. You see that big spike from 212 to 213. It was after that trade came in, but no real YOLO there. It's deep in the money. You love the 15, huh? Is that what you usually use?
Yeah, I like the 15.
That makes sense.
Because again, I'm not like I'm not.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Right? So the 1 minute just like clogs up the chart and makes me just
Speaking of Baba, Spencer, take a look at JD. JD's been nice for the past few days.
Nice day yesterday. Nice day the day before.
Yeah, bounced off of the 70.
Yeah.
Went all the way up to 74s.
Okay. Yeah. Let's zoom out a little bit.
And it's got a long way to go.
Yeah, and look, I own all these guys. I don't own the stocks, but I own them via an ETF. So, I don't own the stocks outright. Long and strong. All of these Chinese internet names. They had a huge run. This January, this late January / early February high that we had pretty much across the board in every growth name, right? We had it in Chinese tech, we had it in EVs, we had it in like ARK, all the ARK funds topped out, right? And at the same exact time, pretty much. We're sort of in what I would call consolidation period. Coming off of those highs. But I'm not discouraged. I'm not selling I own KWeb. That's the one that I own. I'm not selling KWeb. I own ARKW. I'm not selling ARKW. Look, the move up was just stupid. It was just stupid. Okay. Yeah. This thing went, I've owned this for a while. Okay. I know what makes sense and what doesn't. And this thing went from 75 to 100 in a month. It made no sense. So I expected it to go down. And that's where we're at. Looks like a freaking straight, actually, perfectly symmetrical mountain. But I'm not spooked here. I'm not spooked.
No. So, I mean, you're also in it for the long haul.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not averse to selling it. I
got you. Do you have a target in mind, just for fun?
Yeah, it's loss percentage. Well, I don't have the number. I have a number written down of like if I'm down X percent.
No, I meant your profit target, but
no, I probably should. I mean,
but it's good that you at least have your stop loss. That's I think is a more important stop to have than a profit target.
Yeah. I have like mental. I have it mental. It's written down somewhere on my computer at home. But probably should have those numbers handy if it's going to keep dropping. What about, let's do a couple more and then I know you got to hop.
You're good. Yeah.
Was there anything else in chat? Why is Lamb Research having issues getting, well, Lamb Research, all these semis. Oh, look at Lamb. It's just stuck. It's just bunching up.
Oh my goodness.
It's a daily. Oh, it failed. Okay. So you have your information. You tried and it failed. So,
yeah.
So if you're going to go short, there's your level your levels to lean on. You know, anything in the 645, 648, 650 range, I would lean on that to go short. And there's your out. And then if it breaches 650, you know, you lost money, but there's your out. Until then,
is that an ugly Head and Shoulders, or am I just making that up? Or an inverse?
Invert. That's inverse Head and Shoulders. Yeah.
Ugh, doesn't look pretty.
No, it does not.
Let me check one more.
Yeah.
You talked about this, but I'll make my grand exit, whatever. Go back to Docu and see if you can put up the VWAP for me on the 1 minute.
Yeah, let me go full screen. Docu. That's not how you spell it. All right, 1 minute Docu view up. Got it.
Take a look at, I believe it was the 953 mark. So it's interesting. Your VWAP is a little different, and I wonder if that's because of the values that we have. But basically, for me, it bounced right off of VWAP. I wish I could quickly screen share. But anyway, my point won't be proven. That's okay. But yeah, if you guys are day trading, if you're going to take anything away.
You're saying right here, essentially.
Yeah, it was right there. It bounced off, and that's where the VWAP is for me, and it bounced right off of there and kept on going. So again, the trend is great. It's got relative strength that you talked about, especially the stay-at-home stocks, and you saw it do very well.
Yeah.
So
yeah, AJ's right. It depends on the time frame. So
yeah, I've got the 1 minute as well. I think it might just be different values. Because that's another thing you can do, right? Whenever you have like your MACDs, your RSI, you can set like these different values depending on what you prefer. So ours might just be different. But regardless, I appreciate you having me on, man.
All right, man. Been a pleasure.
All right.
Well, guys, that's Zunaid. His Twitter handle is up on the screen.
Yep. See you later, chat.
All right. Again, I just want to hang out until SPACs attack. It's Friday, guys. I mean, it's raining here in Detroit. I figured we'll just hang out on the stream. And I want to turn I'm going to turn Charles on, okay? I'm going to turn the squawk on. For anyone that doesn't have Benzinga Pro, this is probably the most loved feature of Benzinga Pro is the squawk. I don't know when Charles is going to talk, but when he does, we'll hear it. And we'll go from there. All right. I've got more friends, though. Let's bring on my man, Dr. Drew Levine. Dr. Drew.
How we doing, boss?
What's up, man?
Not too much. How about yourself?
You know, just hanging out. You seeing anything cool this morning? Seeing anything fun?
Yeah, I'm actually in a little bit of a cool trade myself. So
that's all about it.
I'll give you the ticker first, FCX.
Okay.
So, and I'll explain you. All right. So it doesn't look good, and that's what I like because I actually bought puts on this company 2 or 3 days ago, and it's been working out, as you can see by the chart. So
DK reporting a North Korea hack targeting South Korea's nuclear power research.
Oh, no, that's not good.
Thanks, Charles. Jesus.
The whole market might crash now. There's a nuclear war going to happen.
All right. Anyway, back to the Freeport puts.
But yeah, hopefully I stay alive to sell these puts, I guess. But basically what happened was I saw that copper prices were at an all-time high. They're going in a super cycle, as they call them. So commodity prices just going up bonanza in the last 3 months. And I was like, is this going to last? What's going to happen? because when copper prices tend to go up, these miners, they tend to mine more copper and push the price back down. That's what we've seen in the past. So I bought some puts, and then the next day, China released that they're going to be unloading a shit ton of copper, and it worked out. So ever since then, people have kind of been freaking out. They don't know what's going to happen, and copper's been selling off.
So you bought puts. What strike? What expiration? Tell us more. What'd you pay for them?
Yeah, those are all good questions. So I've gone through 2 cycles. So yesterday I kind of, revamped my strategy. So initially I'm like, how long is this thing going to take to pan out? So I bought a lot of different puts. Let me go through. So I bought the $32 put for July 9th. So kind of an earlier trade. And then I bought, I got a lot here. I bought August puts. I bought puts that were going to expire in January of 2022. And I was like, when is this trade going to come into fruition? Because in the past, when I buy puts, I buy ones too far out, it dumps right away. And I'm like, damn, I could have made a lot more money. Or, I buy puts too close, it dumps. And I'm like, I should have waited. So I spread it out the time horizon, and I bought different strike prices. So further out with lower strikes, I was buying as the $25 put for January of 2022, and I was buying the $30 put and the $32 put for August and July of 21.
All right, so you're pretty diversified in your in your contract length here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't know how long this thing was going to continue to dump, once it kind of started to pull back, or if it was going to come back up.
Wait, I'm sorry. Can you repeat those strikes? You said 32, 34, right?
No, I had 32, 30, and 25.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the one that's July is in the money. No, 32. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I got some dollars.
Okay. Well, you're on the right track. You're getting there.
Slowly but surely we'll get there. And I'm going to probably exit this strategy soon because of how quickly this thing's been dumping. I imagine it'll be some type of rebound soon. And on the trade, I'm up 57% right now. So it's doing me justice. And
RGB,
I kind of RGB. Let's check that out.
His expansion plan will feature Donato's Pizza in more than 200 restaurants by year end.
Oh, that's not.
That's Romeo Golf Bravo.
All right. Anyway, I don't care about RGB. Back to Freeport. That was it. That was pretty much it on the trade.
So wait. So why Freeport and why not another miner? Did it have to do with the premium or what?
Yeah. So Freeport is the biggest copper miner, and there's another one, Southern Copper, that I was looking to. But, when I pulled up Freeport's valuation, I was just kind of amazed about how quickly they were able to just run up, right? They seemed like the most overvalued. And I imagine the people investing this stuff are, value investors. So, I was just kind of looking at that type of stuff. It's not a growth company, right?
No, I definitely would not call it that.
Okay, let me go back to my movers tool and see what's going on. This is the scanner that I look at during the day sometimes. I also will go back to my movers tool on occasion. Again, you just look at stocks that are what's up, what's down, and you see not a lot of names you recognize on the up filter, which tells you that it's one of those days where we're in the red. Geo Group, so who just mentioned Geo Group in chat? Silver Fox, yeah. This is a Reddit play. All right, so there was an insider buy last night. No, last week. It was the filing was probably last night or this morning, but the actual purchase was last week or this week. Excuse me, a few days ago. This is a Reddit play. So up overnight, down from the open, up all morning. I don't know. Private prisons don't appeal to me. Or public prisons don't appeal to me.
Yeah.
So,
What are your
go ahead.
What are your thoughts on Context Logic, aka Wish?
This is another one.
Gotta ask it.
Honestly, all these things I kind of feel the same way, whether it's Wish, whether it's Geo Group, whether it's Clove, Cleveland Cliffs, all these names that get like some pump, but like not like the full pump on social media. I'm not into it. I'm not into any of them. How are you feeling?
I picked up a few shares, so there's my bias kind of giving away.
Hey, ERN, Geron shares getting some volume here now. Golf Echo Romeo November.
When?
Just last week. I kind of scaled in between 11.50 and 11, but
okay, so you're pretty much even or a bit in the red.
Yeah, I'm a little bit in the red, but call it even at this point.
Do you have a target or a time horizon or what?
Company on the announced publication of Embark Phase 2 Journal. I hate the data in journal.
I'm going to mute that for a second.
Quiz saying that Wish is a POS, but it's not the best.
I heard that their products do suck. That is what I've heard.
It's kind of the dollar store of the internet. That's kind of how I look at it.
Okay.
And people love dollar stores, right? I think dollar stores have been doing really good. Like you look at DG, Dollar General, right? They're in one of the best stocks out there. I would tell my mom if she didn't know what stocks to buy, buy some Dollar General, buy some Amazon, buy some Apple, maybe a little bit of Walmart out there. You can't go wrong with them in the long term. Dollar Tree.
Well, you can because look at Dollar Tree. Wait, one was weak, one was strong, right? So let's just do this. We'll just pull up Dollar Tree and we'll just compare it to DG. There's too many DGs.
I think it's just DG.
I know, but there we go.
Oh, you can't hit enter.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm a DG guy.
The market's a DG market, I think. Market, for whatever reason.
They got a really good management team. They really know how to open up these stores, and they kind of view themselves as mini Walmarts. Because in these really rural towns where there might not even be a Walmart, like you go in northern Michigan, right? We call that place up north, Petoskey, any of those areas, and you'll see a Dollar Tree in the middle of nowhere or Dollar General, and they're killing it. And Dollar General is actually working on moving into cities, so you can't go wrong with that in my eyes. But Wish, they do sell a lot of garbage, but what kind of spiked my interest is they have 100 million monthly active users. It's kind of nuts in my eyes. And they've been growing at pretty steady rates, but they burn money like no one's business. So.
Wish was like the first time I can remember seeing after the IPO. Let's go back to the chart of Wish. After the Wish IPO, I saw commercials for the company in the context of the IPO. Like I saw commercials where they were like, "Hey, we're public now. Here's our ticker. You can go buy our stock." And I was like, "What?"
That's kind of weird.
That's a thing you can do. I didn't know you always do that.
It's one way to inflate the stock price, I guess. But hey, it worked for a second. But yeah, they're trading like really cheap, right? Their price to sales is just around like 2 or 3, and in my eyes, that is true. Dollar store, internet store, but Dollar General makes profit. Yeah, that's a good point, Mike. But these online businesses have the possibility to leverage themselves in crazy ways, right?
Wait, I just want to clarify. You said the price of sales is what, 2.5 to 3? That's not that cheap.
That's not that cheap, but look at Shopify, look at Amazon. I'm not saying they're in that category. Even eBay, right? They're cheap compared to those things.
All right, the current price of sales for the S&P 500, which is basically just the barometer.
I'm trying to cook me here.
It's 3. It's 3. Okay, anything below that, cheap. Anything above that, expensive is what I would say. So 2.5 to 3, maybe not like totally cheap, but maybe, I guess to your point, it's not higher. Do they have earnings or no? They probably don't.
No, they don't. So the one problem I really do have with them is what M. Johnson just said, which products take 3 months to arrive for garbage, right? So if they were able to, adopt somewhat of an Amazon model, that would be like insane, right? You could get a product cheap, like pennies on the dollar and into your house in 2 to 3 days, that would be insane. So they actually they have a logistics company that makes up for a lot of revenue. And it looks like when I was doing some of the research, they built these like shipment areas like in really like places that a lot of trade is happening. So yeah, I don't know if they're going the Amazon route, but they're really working to improve their logistics.
All right, Drew, do you want to guess what the? Oh, hold on 1 second. I'm going to actually filter this out. Do you want to guess what the top performing like industry is in the market over the last last month? No, let's go last week. Last like industry group or sector.
No,
well, let's go last month. I changed my mind. 1 week is too small. Let's go last
month.
Yeah.
Oof. If you said like of 2021, I think I'd say bank stocks, like financials. But I don't know if that's the correct answer.
Not anymore. It's tough with the. It's been a pretty brutal few days for the banks. So
yeah.
No, it's actually the top performing sector in the last month has actually been real estate.
Okay.
But the last few days don't look too good. Let me pull up the XLRE. Look at the XLRE chart. This is the real estate sector. That craziness.
Yeah, I saw a post by Trust Fund Terry the other day. It was like, we just bought a house 50% over asking to hedge against inflation.
Hey, but
I'm like, you're buying a house 50% over asking to hedge against inflation. I don't know if that's really hedge there, but what are your thoughts on the current real estate market? Have you been following it?
My thoughts are I'm screwed. Is my thoughts. I am the person that is absolutely in the worst position because I was not ready to buy a house last year. I'm not ready to buy a house now, but I will be ready to buy a house in like another year or two. And I just missed the boat. I think the market just got away from me. So I've resigned myself to the fact that there's a chance I may not buy a house for years. And I've resigned myself to that fact because I missed. If I had been ready last year or the year before that, that would have been great. Of course, I had no way of knowing that. But that's my thoughts are tough for people like me, great for anybody who has equity in their home and wants to downsize or whatever. Great for you know what I thought about doing actually? There are these platforms you can use, like one of them is called Fundrise, where you can like invest in a residential estate. I've actually thought about that as a hedge against my own predicament.
Not a bad idea, right?
Yeah.
I mean, real estate prices right now they're nice and high. The question is, I've been following the real estate market extensively for the last few months. One of my good friends dropped out of university to go do real estate full time. And so I've talked to him a lot about it. So the cost to build right now is extensively high. If you look at the ticker wood, the ETF that tracks just wood futures, right?
Yeah.
That thing has gone on a tear like no one's business, right?
Well, no.
It's coming down. Yeah. Look, the commodity prices are dropping. All right. That's why I also made the copper play. But look at that. From 60 to 100, this is wood. These are trees. Look outside. There's trees everywhere. Has the tree market changed? No. But the cost of wood prices, the cost of building, all these ingredients to make a house have skyrocketed. So I think that's really helped real estate prices. And, if these commodities come down, I think you're going to see more new residential, new, whatnot popping up.
Electronic readers says aren't houses cheap in Michigan. It's all relative, man. They're more expensive than they were before. That's the point.
So I believe the median in the country is Cleveland. That city seems to be pretty like straight line. Yeah, or I think it's Columbus actually. Columbus. Yeah. Columbus, and I believe Detroit's about 4% higher. So surprisingly, we're actually a little bit more, which is, most people wouldn't think that, but the real estate market in Detroit has been booming like no one's business.
All right, it's been a half hour since I looked at AMC, so let's look at AMC.
Spencer's got a clock on his desk, and instead of times, it just says "Look at AMC." And he looks over, and he's like, "Oh, it's been 30 minutes." Time to do it.
Well, it's quiet. I just don't want to I just don't want to miss it when it goes to like 70 or to like 40.
But what are you gonna do something? Like, what are you just like?
I'm just here for the show.
Yeah. Yeah, I hate to do this, Spencer, but Wish is up 3% since we've talked about it.
What? Yeah, someone in chat just said something about that. Who?
Oh God, I don't like that. I feel uncomfortable right now.
Who was just talking about that? Oh yeah, a few people were talking about that. Jesus, Drew, what did you just do? He can't even talk.
I gotta get off the show, guys. Bye.
All right, CJ.
Oh my God. Too funny.
Oh my God, dude. All right. What was that? and it was on a heavy volume too. Drew, I'm gonna go ahead and pop your ego right now, all right? I'm just gonna say I don't think that was you.
I don't think it was me either.
All right.
But it's just funny.
Oh geez, coming off those highs now. All right.
Yeah, it's gonna sell off
probably
a bit.
All right. It's going back to what was that? 11:30? 11:30, here we come. Jesus.
How about you, Spencer? I've talked a lot about my trades. Are you making any? I know you're a big swing trader.
My most recent purchase was SoFi.
Okay.
About what was it, 3 weeks ago now? That was the last stock that I bought. This was a de-SPACed play, right? It was IPOE. Now it's SoFi. This is a long-term thing. This is not a trade. This is not like I put trades on it in my Webull account. They're usually very short-term trades. I just don't do it that often. This is a longer-term holding. Even if I'm underwater, which I'm not, I think I'm pretty much flat right now. I wouldn't sell this thing for a while. I'm long-term convicted. I think these guys are this is like the next generation of like big financial services firms, right? Fintech, whatever you want to call it. These guys are going to eat the lunch, I think, of traditional financial services, banks, brokers, et cetera, et cetera. I love this company. So it was more of a long-term call for me.
Okay. So, like, are there any other products that you think like stand out? Like, I'm on their website. I've seen their name and their logo everywhere.
Yeah, they advertise like crazy, right? So, but here's what stands out to me is that they do everything, right? They started off, I think, as just a lender. I think they were just a lender, right? And now they do, now they're a broker. Right, they do insurance. They have credit cards. They have an ETFs, for Christ's sake. The best performing ETF in the last here. Let me just show you the screen here. That I subscribe to the site etfdb.com, and they have some good ETF research tools. This is a table of the top performing non-leveraged ETFs in the last month. Right? Look at the number one. Now, this is all because of Reddit, essentially. This is because if you look at what's in this fund, and I'll show it in a second. But the point is, the top performing ETF in the last month that's non-leveraged is a SoFi ETF. It is the SoFi Social 50 ETF. These guys are everywhere. The fund holds AMC, so that's why it's been the number one gainer. But point notwithstanding, these guys, they're everywhere. They're in capital markets. They're doing lending. They're doing insurance, credit cards. They're all over the space. They're in crypto. They're all over the space, and they keep on expanding.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think, retail banks, the big JP Morgan that has a retail branch in every corner, they're going to stick around. But there's also these online banks that are going to kind of come in and say, like, we don't have the overhead that you guys do. So it seems like a good business model as well. And I'm sure there's a lot more that I really don't understand about this, that that gives them a competitive edge.
And I first thought about I first started thinking about the company for real when they bought the naming rights to I think the Las Vegas Raiders or Los Angeles Rams stadium is so one of those new NFL ones is SoFi, and I thought, well, if you have enough money to pay to have your name on a football stadium, you're either a gigantic fraud or you're for real. You're like super duper for real. And then I looked at it and I was like, I think they're for real. So, Aaron, what's up? Aaron Brees says go back to Wish. Wait,
give me $15.
No. Aaron Bree wants us to guess where it's at right now. But before I bring it up, oh God,
it must be up if he's saying that.
I'm afraid to guess.
All
right.
Oh, what?
Oh, gee. Oh, it's almost at 12.
Oh, what?
Wait.
I told you to buy. Let's go.
In all seriousness, Drew, what is going on right now? Go to a news. Do you have anything in news about this? Probably not. There's no news.
They said Drew Levine was on Benzinga. He said Wish stock is cool.
Oh my God.
Spencer Israel gave him a hard time about it, but it turns out, Drew, we like the stocks.
Drew, are you buying lunch today for the office or what? What's going on?
How much am I today? 5%. Unfortunately. If my portfolio was bigger, I'd do it. For me, it's like
straight line towards 12 right now. Oh my gosh, let's go to 1 minute. Oh God, look at that candle up there, 10:42. This is ridiculous. All right. In all seriousness, is it getting love on Reddit or what? Or what? Let's see if we can figure out what's going on here because it seems like it's. I'm not seeing it on the two sites I use to track Reddit mentions and sentiment. I'm not seeing Wish. Oh, yeah, I do see it a little bit, actually. There it is. All right. Yeah, it's getting some love. Wow.
I bet the stock twits people are going absolutely bonkers.
Wait, are you on stock twits?
So my new thing is I try and stay off it. Yeah. But I've been on it, a lot, and you get in a stock and you really want the trade to work out, and everyone's hyping it up on there, and gets to my head too much.
Hey guys, Benzinga was like what we were so early days on stock twits. We've got 286,000 followers. We were like one of the first major financial brands on StockTwits way back in the day. If you're on StockTwits, follow Benzinga. We've been on StockTwits since 2009. Okay, that's how long we've been on StockTwits for.
That's hype. Yeah, I think it's a good way to see what people are talking about, but you gotta take everything with a grain of salt. Personally, when I think of a trade, I want people to poke holes in it. I'd rather have people tell me you're stupid than say, oh, this thing can't fail, because that's what I do with copper. I'm like, why is it in a super cycle? Am I gonna get screwed? Are these puts gonna become worthless in one day? I was pretty scared to enter the trade, but once I'm in it, you gotta stick to your guns.
I agree. I almost get suspicious when people agree with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What are you doing here? Is there an alternate motive? You trying to?
I don't need you to agree with me. I agree with myself. I don't need that. I need you to tell me why I'm wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Build that conviction.
RG is saying Zach Morris is pumping Wish. Is that okay. Well, there's your answer. Twitter for the win. Regulators do nothing. It's all good, man. It's all good. Chat, what else are you watching? I'm gonna get off the stream here in 10 minutes. So Drew, if you want to hang out with me until then. But I want to know what else chat's watching. Let's get this Wish off the screen. Let's go back to how's DocuSign doing? Are we still up today? Did we stop going up yet? We have not stopped going up. DocuSign, Rip City, all have stayed home today. How's Zoom doing? Zoom did stop going up. What about Roku? Nope. Zillow still going up. Everyone's still going up on a Friday. Chinese education.
Yeah.
Wow,
the market's up. Some things are up, some things are down. The market's got to be flat, right?
This is right. So most of the market is in the red, right?
Okay,
You just look look at a heat map on your trading platform or whatever, most of the S&P 500 is in the red today. But there are pockets of serious strength, right? Look at NVIDIA. Look at that a little while ago. So strong. You name it, a nice trade. Adobe had earnings, right? Strong. Oh, no. Off. Low, down from the open. Up from the close. But there are these pockets of strength, even though the broad market is down.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Every sector is in the red, right? Good. How's GameStop doing? I'm looking at that all day. Huh? Interesting. GameStop down 3%.
What's gonna happen with GameStop in 5 years? That's what I'm dying to know.
Well, either they are like the dominant player in selling online games, or they're out of business. There is no middle ground, right?
Is there no middle ground? Because they got some equity. They got some shares right now that are up big. They can turn on the printers somewhat, but they haven't. I know they haven't. Ryan Cohen.
Wait,
man's gone silent.
They never did an offering. Is that right?
I don't believe so. Ampc the offering. Those guys were like, "Yeah, we'll take the money that you're giving us, please."
Yeah. All right, wait, real fast. Michael Mitchell asked, "How do we feel about the trade desk?" Well, so look at that. It traded up yesterday. The stock split, what was that, 8-for-1? Was it 8-for-1? No, 10-for-1. 10-for-1. Stock split went into effect yesterday. For whatever reason now, I don't understand it, but for whatever reason, stock splits are now bullish. I don't get it. It changes nothing about the company. That's what Warren Buffett always says. Stock splits are useless because they don't change anything about the business. But these are bullish events now. We saw last year with Apple and Tesla and the trade desk yesterday. Let's zoom out. And I just always like looking at the daily. All right. Super high growth name, been punished along with the rest of growth. This is a cathie stock. I believe ARK owns what is it? TD. ARK owns a bunch of this, so I own it by extension. Open daily, zoom out. Just a ridiculous move. I mean, no, I wouldn't say that. What is that gap? Is that earnings? That looks like earnings to me. Early May. This doesn't. I mean, look, it's in a downtrend, a series of lower highs, but for the moment, you've got some levels to lean on. What's all this here? What are all these lows? What, 50, 57? 57 range. You got a series of lows of 57. I would lean on that. As long as it holds 57 for the moment, you're okay.
Yeah. I mean, look, stocks pull back in the short term, and they're going to pull back in the long term as well, right? Things are going to get overbought. Things are going to get oversold. So, I mean, it could be healthy.
Yeah.
It's been a few months, but, it also looks like it ran up. You kind of see this with a lot of these, big names, even Tesla, obviously, but like the Jumiyas, and whatnot.
I haven't looked at Jumia for like a couple of
That's what I kind of bring up. But, it shoots up and it kind of just fades down. And, it's still up 30 from 13 when I got my first shares, but unfortunately I sold way early. But, right, this thing launched up. People know about it now, and it's chilling at 30. So, long term, it goes to the top right, but there's volatility too.
How's Ride doing today? Lordstown Motors. I would look at up 2%. Yeah. 2%.
What's your thoughts on them, Spencer? Are you like, I'm not touching this after the whole event, or what?
Yeah, I look. It's honestly almost hilarious how poor of a communicator that this company is. Okay, because what was it? It was like Tuesday. Was it Wednesday? Tuesday or Wednesday? We go to a news feed here and go to Ride. The interim CEO, right, said, "Yeah, we've got all these binding orders." Yeah, here. This is Tuesday. President says we have, quote, firm orders for 2021-22 production. Says they are, quote, binding order. That was a quote. Binding order. That means it is written down. There is a contract. Things have been signed. And then the very next day. Wait, that was Tuesday, right? And then I think it was the next day. It may have been the same day. Hold on. No, it was the next day. Never mind, guys. They're not binding orders. Our bad. We have purchase deals. They're not binding orders. No one has signed jack. We may not actually make or sell any cars. Oops, sorry. Like, how hard is it to just communicate clearly to the public? I don't get it.
Yeah, it's not a great look.
I hope they succeed, but because EVs are great, jobs, all that. It's this big plant here in Ohio. I've driven past it before. It's huge. But God, guys, can't even get out of your own way. I mean,
what does the car even look like?
It was the same car that they entered that off-road, that desert race a few months ago, and then it flamed out after the first. Here, let me pull it up on the screen. Here. I mean, it looks nice.
Oh yeah, this truck thing, yeah,
it looks nice.
The grill is kind of whack, in my opinion.
I mean, everything's a little bit whack, right?
Yeah,
better.
It looks like an F-150 that's gonna go to space.
I think it looks good, but can they actually make it is the question.
So, what about GM, right?
Wait, Lily, no. Markus did not sell yet. So this guy got assigned, and it's been a train wreck. No, he's not sold yet. Yeah, anyway, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, thoughts on GM, right? They're a pretty established car maker. Yeah. They kind of get thrown in with Nikola. They get I can't even speak. They get thrown in with Nikola. They get thrown in with Lordstown too, I believe.
Because they invested in both.
Yeah, right. So in my eyes, people are like, "Oh, that's so bad." I'm like, this company is not scared to take risk, and they're a company that's almost 100 years old. I like that, right? Right. I like
right. So GM has made a lot of investments, right? They haven't just made. Didn't they have a stake in that? What's that company? Cruise, right? Isn't that that's one that's worked out for them? I think it was Cruise that GM invested in. But anyway, yeah, some of them are hits, some of them are misses. They missed very badly on Nikola and Lordstown. So in that sense, it's easy to poke fun, right? And say, oh, what is your guys' DD?
Mm-hmm.
But to your point, Drew, which I think is more valuable, is hey, it shows they're not afraid to take risks. It shows that they're not sitting back on their laurels and just say, no, we're gonna, sit back and produce internal combustion engines like we always have, and nothing will change. No, it shows quite the opposite. And honestly, both GM and Ford, and while we're at it, let's bring up Stellantis, formerly Fiat Chrysler.
Yeah.
Bring up Toyota. Let's bring up Honda. Sorry. And over the last, let's zoom in here. Just year to date, Ford and GM are looking pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, I like that new electric Cadillac. That's kind of what I picture when I think of GM. I think that's a good looking car that, I could see some moms whipping their kids to soccer. And to be honest, maybe they're not going to buy the new Model X or even the Model Y, but maybe they'll buy the Caddy. It's a good brand.
All right, Drew Levine. Any final thoughts for us before we hop off here?
Yeah.
We can't let you go. We gotta wait. We gotta just let me clear out all this stuff and let's go back to the story of the day, which is that's not it. Can't let you go without looking that way. Oh my God, it's still going. No, it's not. It's paused. It paused for a breather, but it looks like it wants 12 so bad. It wants 12 so bad. God, this is insane. Good for you, man.
I'm up 30 cents, maybe.
Nice.
Spencer's like, that's my guy. That's if you wish, your dreams might come true, but it's not because you wish. And do the DD, understand the risks, and also wish. Go wish, baby. Let's make it happen.
All right. See you later, Drew. How's it going?
Peace.
All right. Yes. Someone asked me a long time ago about the ATAI IPO. I'm going to defer to what Alan Brockstein said. when he was on our show. There's no candles because there's no IPO yet. Didn't open. But all these psychedelics companies, they're so early. We're so early days, right? Whether you want to look at what Compass, right? Was the first one, Compass Pathways. What's the ticker on that? CMPS, right? There's CMPS and there's MindMed, right? Those are the two. Let's just bring up MindMed in here too. So it's MNMD, right? Yeah. So we're so early days in this industry. Let me just zoom out. Alan's point on was it Wednesday he was on, was that a lot of companies that are doing, and I'm not saying this is what ATAI is doing, but a lot of these companies that like flamed out in cannabis are now pivoting to psychedelics. So there's that. They've got what six things in the pipeline. ATAI, is that right? I think I read 6. So that's something, but we're so early days in this industry that for me, like I'm hands off for now. And if you're in, then you got to probably stick this thing in a drawer for a couple of years and just forget that you own it, because I mean we're still waiting on cannabis legalization. I wouldn't hold my breath for LSD just yet. Still waiting on cannabis. Cannabis comes first. This stuff comes second to me. Peter Thiel, yeah, he's back in the company. I know. All right, let's see if there are any indications, though. It hasn't opened yet, right? ATAI. Indicating 1950. So the IPO price is 15. So, all right, well, I'm sure it'll open in the next couple hours. We'll be watching it until then. There's your SPY chart up. We are down 1.35% so far today in the overall market. Again, mostly red on the screen. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I had fun. It's Friday. It's casual Friday. Drop me a like if you can. I appreciate that. But I'm going to hop off the stream now because SPAC's attack is starting right now. We're doing SPAC battles today. They're doing Nikola versus Ride. They're doing Tops versus Playboy. And they're doing CCIV versus Fisker. So SPAC battles up next here on the stream. This video will redirect straight to SPAC's attack, so you don't have to do anything there. Just drop me a like, hit subscribe if you can. That would be greatly appreciated. And I'll say it again. Please remember, all the information from our show meant to be used as informational purposes, not for investing or trading advice. Thanks to Markus. Thanks to Ryan. Thanks to Jonathan. Thanks to Drew. Thanks to you for hanging out with me. I will see you guys a little bit later. Have a good one.